public life. She was nominated by President Ronald Reagan and took her seat on the High Court in 1981, where she served until 2005. O'Connor writes that she's fortunate to be an American and never could have imagined that one day she would become the first woman justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. Greg Clugston, Washington.
No longer is the question about the size of the Democratic wave this fall. It's about whether there will be any wave at all. In the fight for Senate control, at least, top operatives in both political parties can see the Democrats' path to the majority has essentially disappeared. At the same time, leading Democrats now fear that the battle for the House majority will be decided by only a handful of seats. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
The Conservative Cartel.
Remember when Hillary Clinton said that we couldn't be civil to Republicans until Democrats won back the House and the Senate? I mean, I know that was so long ago, like 3 days ago. Remember when she said we couldn't be civil? Remember when former Attorney General Eric Holder said, Michelle Obama, when they go low, we don't need to go high. When they go low, we need to kick them. Oh, Eric Holder says, you guys, I really didn't mean wink, 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 left, kick them. I didn't mean wink, 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 kick them. I didn't mean physically. Why do you think they did that? I said this on the program, I think Friday or Monday. This is a call to action out of leaders from the Democratic Party. They know they're in trouble. They know the numbers aren't going to be there. They know there's not going to be a blue wave. So what do they do now? They're calling their followers to action.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Your MoJo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to join us via the social medias so you can be a part of the broadcast today. On Twitter, it's hashtag What I Learned Today. MeWe, make sure to follow Brad and I as well. Sign up for that MeWe account at MeWe.com. Do you like the new open there?
I did. It's Brad and me.
Brad and me. Damn it.
Brad and I.
Damn it.
You wouldn't say follow I.
I know, you got me. Damn it. Do you like the new open there?
I love it.
Do you like that?
Yes,
you recognize
I do.
the theme?
It's is that the Village People?
No, it's a good guess, though. No, it's not a good guess.
Who is
it's a good guess, though.
What's it?
I just want to see if the listeners can figure that one out. That's all. That's it.
Huh. I like it.
All right.
I like it. It sounds official. It sounds like we've made it.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it.
It's that time of the year when almost everywhere we look, we see the ghouls, the goblins, the spooks, the specters, the trolls, the monsters, the fiends, the beans, the brutes, the ogres. I'm talking about the election season.
I was going to say.
The election season.
Yeah, it's midterms.
It's really get confused, Halloween, rather, and the election season, what with Pelosi and Warren and Leahy. They really conflate the entire thing for us.
Yes, they do.
By the way, our election night coverage here on MoJo 50 kicks off 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on the air until most of the returns come in. I don't expect anything that's going to keep us on the air overnight, not like a 2,000.
Till the chickens come home.
Now, it'll probably be about midnight Eastern time. Of course, our tailgating will begin much, much earlier than 7 p.m. Eastern time in the massive MoJo 50 parking lot. We'll be out there. I'm sure there'll be, hordes of people grilling and tossing the pigskin around, all drinking.
Just laying by the banks of the sparkling blue waters of the MoJo River.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It will be a night to be remembered by all.
So make sure to join us again. That is a week from Tuesday. Wow,
That's
finally here.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay, it's a good way to say it. I prefer to look ahead. Week from Tuesday.
Yes.
So make sure to join us on the air here. And it'll be all hands on deck. And then, of course, Black Friday will be here. If you have not signed up to be a part of our Black Friday Marathon Building America extravaganza, do so at mojo50.com.
I saw another one, another email come in this morning.
For about business?
Actually, somebody just wanted to win the
Oh.
big prize package we're giving away.
Yeah, so what we're doing here, it's a couple things. First of all, if you have a business, you know somebody that has a business, just call in on Black Friday. It'll be 6 a to 6 p.m., a 12-hour marathon here on Mojo 50, just to promote your business, as I've done on a much smaller scale over the past few years. So you can just call in. We'll give you a minute or two to plug your business, and hopefully you'll share that with everybody that you know, because the more people we have listening, the better it is for your business and everybody else's. So it should be pretty interesting. Now, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, or, you know, are willing to make the commute, come on down. You can do so in studio. We have some local businesses and some that are willing to travel, so they're going to be here and talking about their businesses as well.
Unless you're from Canada, we do not allow anyone from Canada.
It's building America, not building North America,
Yes.
you Canucks.
Yes, exactly.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you that don't have businesses, why should you listen? Because we're going to be giving away a prize pack valued that probably $2,000, $2,500 in total.
$1.7 million.
Not quite that much.
Could be that
We'll be giving
large.
away this beautiful Minuteman watch. You can get details on it at Minuteman Watches.
It's actually CGAwatches.com.
That's
CGA,
not
yeah, it's
confusing or anything.
It's if you Google it's easier to Google Minuteman watches than it is to because it's not MinutemanWatches.com.
The Minuteman watches are all really one of a kind. I mean, there are some similar designs, but he builds each one by hand.
Yes.
I mean, these are
Thomas Carey does amazing work. I've known of him, worked with him for years, going way back. And the only watch I will wear is, as a matter of fact, is a Minuteman watch. So
now, can women wear these as well?
no, they do not allow women to wear these watches unless you have special dispensation from the company itself, and they do issue certain certificates each year.
Or a panel of men, right?
Yeah, you have to be judged worthy to,
Okay.
as a woman to
Right there.
wear the watch.
I think the value of this is $500-ish by itself. And then, of course, Tar River Arms has thrown in a pistol. What kind of gun is it? Do we know?
Is it the it's not the SIG, is it?
I think it might be a
Yeah, I think it's
6-hour.
a P365.
Oh, it is one of those.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
my.
It's the
Ew.
that's the that. Oh no,
Ooh.
maybe that's not the one they're throwing in for the package. I know that's the
they
MoJo.
should.
That's
They
the MoJo Defense one that
Yeah.
they're
Right.
selling for.
All right, well, they're throwing
We'll
that
find
in.
out what it is.
We have a stun gun that we're throwing in. It's one of the cell phone case stun guns that we're going to make a part of this as well. There'll be other prizes added, and you can win this. And all you have to do to enter is give us your email address at mojo50.com. Now, we're not going to sell that to anybody else. We're fairly trustworthy as far as that goes. If you're hot, Brad may stalk you or something.
Oh,
but
yeah, yes.
There's a fine line between following and stalking anyway. So
That's true. It's not stalking if you really want to meet them. I mean, I didn't write the rules. I just follow them.
if you really want to meet him,
If you really want to meet them.
yeah, so this is the Yellow Jacket. It's a backup battery for your phone and a case. It comes in a case, and it's also a stun gun. So you're just walking down the street. Oh, I'll go out. I'll go ahead and mug that lady or that guy because they're just carrying a cell phone. That's on.
Right. Yeah.
Done.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Well, as a matter of fact, we may actually demonstrate that that night on Ron.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We're running out of space to put things on the old desk.
We
aren't
had a new desk.
We
That
had a
would be
new
really cool.
desk with more space. The construction crew is nearly finished with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So give us your email address at mojo50.com. I've heard this story
This
before.
is why no one likes
Dude,
you.
I am a married
This
man.
is
I've
why-
heard these. No, I'm going to do it today. I promise. Sure. Okay, fine.
There were the crew sent pictures of it last night. So
See, when you're cynical and skeptical, as I am about things like this, you're never disappointed.
that's true.
And
That's true.
occasionally you get surprised.
If you keep your expectations low, nothing will ever disappoint you.
That's my
That's what
motto.
I kept telling the ex-wives. They never listened to me.
You know, Kristen Powers she's the, I think she writes for USA Today. She's been on CNN. She's a CNN contributor, I think. She tweeted last night, "Dear white people,
That's
By
me.
the way,
That's me.
Kirsten Powers is white. She is. She was talking. She wrote
Oh my
you a
gosh, is she hot?
She actually she is kind of hot.
Yes.
Do you like Mira Savine?
Oh,
Paul
Mira
Savine?
Savino. Yeah, Mira Savino's hot.
She looks like her.
And she wrote me a note.
She did. She
all right.
she absolutely. I mean, she's crazy, but yeah.
That's okay. I don't want to marry her.
Dear white people.
That's me.
There it is.
Hey.
Dear white people who are upset that you can't dress up as another race for culture for Halloween. Are you upset that you can't dress up?
No, not really.
She's not writing to you then. Darn it.
Doggone it.
She said your feelings don't matter.
All right.
The only feelings that matter are of those who feel disrespected / mocked by you appropriating their culture for entertainment.
This is getting really old.
So
really old.
I'll give it to you. Dear white people who are upset that you can't dress up as another race for culture for Halloween, your feelings don't matter. She's white, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Your only feelings, or the only feelings that matter, are those who feel disrespected / mocked by you appropriating their culture for entertainment. Is race culture okay? There in this one tweet that she sent out. There are so many failures. There's the overall blanket failure. Knock it off.
Yeah.
But the dear white people, as a white person who feel that they're upset that they can't dress another race, can't?
Well,
does that mean people who are in like jail and they're not? Because you know what? White people can go dress up as another race. So can black people.
I would think so. And
Asians?
Yes. Anybody who wants to dress up as, say, a white character.
You can do that.
Yes. Anybody of any race.
Can dress up as any other race. She says you can't. I don't know what she's talking about. Does she mean in the court of public opinion you'll be tried? So you avoid it? Does she mean in your place of work? Lots of you can't do that at work.
Right.
I mean, you can. You don't mind being fired for it.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I'm a little confused. It's almost like she's putting that out there to tell us we can't. That she is the arbiter of what we can and cannot do when it comes to race.
I don't believe anybody bestowed that power upon Ms. Powers.
Right, exactly.
I think she's taking her last name a little too literally.
And then to say your feelings don't matter, the only feelings that do matter are those who feel disrespected and mocks again with the feeling thing and all of the feeling. So my feelings don't matter.
No.
It's regardless, they do not matter. But the feelings of those people who feel disrespected do matter.
Yes.
That seems disproportionate, like you're only concerned with some people.
It would almost seem like that, that she is thrown some people, that being white people, under the bus, and everyone else, is of a higher value.
We got to knock this off. I'm serious. It is going to take some bold people out there who are willing to risk their jobs and everything else to stop this, because we are this close to you not actually being allowed to do that by law, that you will be arrested. And I can only imagine that will continue to be ratcheted up as far as punishments. It's coming. That absolutely is going to happen. Somebody will end up passing a law in California or New York about this, and then it'll go all the way up. In a year or so, Congress will pass a law. They'll say that you can't dress as protected classes, because we do have protected classes. That's all it'll take. Or maybe it'll be a Supreme Court ruling that'll say protected classes also extend to you dressing up on Halloween or culturally appropriating. This is absolutely coming. And if we don't stop this, it's going to be worse and worse. That down the road, it'll start with it's a law and there'll be a fine or something. And then, possibility of like 30 days in jail. Wow. And then it'll just continue to grow because of these knuckleheads out there. The only way we stop it is for us to absolutely do that. I am not all that concerned about you and your feelings being hurt by this stuff. If they are, go about your business. Do you understand that? This is the turn the channel moment. This is we've got to not allow certain programs on the air because somebody may hear it. A child may be listening. Somebody may be offended by it. Turn the channel. That's all you have to do. Some personal responsibility here. Which is easier to control?
Does this mean that
you saying nobody out there can ever do anything to offend me. I'm going to stop everybody from dressing every way that I may consider cultural appropriation on the off chance I may encounter them somewhere in life. Or you just saying, well, I don't like that, I'm going to move on.
Right. Reach over and go click and turn the channel.
Wow, so Steve is dressed in full minstrel blackface. He's playing the Step and Fetch It character.
Minstrel.
Minstrel.
Black.
Thank you.
Yes.
Minstrel. And playing the Step and Fetch It character. Okay. I'm going to move on. You know, Christians have learned to do that over and over again.
Yes. Well, it's because we remember the old sticks and stones and all of that, and that seems to have been forgotten by so many people.
Megyn Kelly questioned this on her broadcast.
Yeah.
She had a little panel, and to Megyn's credit, because like Kirsten Powers, Megyn has become crazy. Become a little nutty.
She grew her hair out and went full crazy.
It's almost like she was pretending to be conservative on Fox. Like she's just kind of morphing.
You mean for the money? She was pretending for the money.
It's almost like that. I'm not saying it's like that. I'm saying it's almost like that.
Broadcast whore.
Could be like that.
Okay. Okay.
By the way, Kirsten Powers, I responded that she's crackers. And that's both a reference to her race and to her mental state. So mental health there. So, and I think I could say probably the same of Megyn Kelly at times, but this one she kind of got right. So listen to her little panel, and I don't know who all these people are. I'm not sure it matters. One of them is George Bush's daughter.
Oh, Jenna.
It's the
Jenna Hager-Bush.
I don't know which one it is. The fat one with the blonde hair.
She's kind of nice, though. I like her.
She's an idiot.
I didn't say
Comes
she was
from upbringing.
smart.
Your parents are probably idiots, too.
I like stupid people. Look, I mean, look at who we work with.
She's the chubby one who only ended up with that job because Daddy was president, but that's okay. That's fine.
That's all right.
So she's on there and never lets me down. When she's on camera, she never lets me down. So like towards the end of this minute or so clip, you'll hear it. But here they are discussing people dressing as other races for Halloween. Here we go. And again, this is Megyn.
Because truly, you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface for Halloween, or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like,
No.
Yeah. No,
That's first of all, you people got. By the way, the panel, even a couple of little progressive nuts there, are like, yes, no, that is absolutely not a thing. Case in point, that movie White Girls.
Yeah. And I've never seen a black person put on whiteface. Have you? That's hard to cover. If you think about it, it's hard to cover up darker skin with white.
You need a couple of coats.
You really do.
I use Kills. That's what I start
a good
with.
idea.
Bins is good too.
Yeah,
both of those are really good. You get that base coat of that, and then you paint any color over.
It comes off easily in a couple of months, and you're good to go.
So, that absolutely is not the case. If Brad and I said, "Hey, we're going as fill in the black people characters," and went down there, people would flip out.
Yep.
If pick any black person out there dressed as a white person, there would be some people on the right that call out the hypocrisy.
Yes.
But only for the double standard.
Yes.
It's not like they care. Dress as any damn white person you want. Dress as me. I don't care.
Nope.
I've got things to worry about in my life that actually matter, like food and shelter for my family.
Yes. Bills.
Just becoming increasingly difficult.
Yes, it is.
Anyways, back to Megyn Kelly.
like, back when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
If somebody feels like something is offensive to them, then you should say it, and that's fair game.
Yeah, and
you should be able to take it if you're going to dress up like that.
Yeah, you got to be able to take it.
Yeah.
One of the things I mentioned is people dress.
You got to be able to take it.
All right.
Just like in prison.
Right. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I can take that, but not if, again, you're going to be tried in the court of public opinion, you lose your job and nonsense, okay? Here we go.
Like Nazis and this. If you think it's offensive, it probably is.
Yep.
And one of my big complaints just about society right now is whatever happened, and I know how you were raised. I don't know how you were raised, but...
That's questionable.
Yeah. Whatever happened to just manners and polite society?
But on Halloween, you've got...
Manners and polite society. That's it. That's what you should do.
Quaint.
Just, manners, Brad.
Yeah.
You know people are going to be offended. Don't do it.
Right. The trouble is everything offends somebody.
Why
There's
is
some
it?
whiner out there.
Why is it when somebody on the right does something even satirical, but will push the envelope, so to speak, will do something edgy, often again to make a point satirical, it's considered offensive. But when you've got one of these progressive little artists out there, whether in Hollywood or in the music industry, when they do something like this, no, it's making a political statement.
It's artistic freedom. Because white people are full of hate, that's why.
I mean,
because everything we do is from a position of hate and white supremacy.
Who's the black guy? I think he played the young in Star
Billy D.
Wars.
Williams.
Yeah. Who's Billy D. Williams' character?
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, he plays the young.
I got it right.
That. You actually kind of did. The young Lando, Childish Gambino. Is that his name? Remember, he had the video where he's dancing.
Yes, yeah, he danced, and shot people in the back of the head.
Right.
Yeah.
That was heralded. Oh my gosh, so edgy. It's such a wonderful bit of political essay. This is something, it's a statement about the state of race in America and police violence. It's wonderful. It's artistic.
The only problem with that video is if he was trying to make a point, everyone that he shot in the back of the head, if I'm not mistaken, I have to go back and look at it, but they all came back to life. At the end, they were like singing in the choir.
Well, you got to sing. You can't pay somebody else to come in and sing.
That's
Then
true.
they got to
That'd
do
be a
double
whole-
duty
yeah,
in this
that's
stuff.
right. Yeah, to get overtime.
You see what I'm saying? It's offensive when somebody on the right does something that is edgy, again, to make some political point, commentary, social commentary. But on the left, it's just seen as
we have been
artistic.
in power so long. It is time to hand the reins of power over to the minorities.
Here we go. A little bit more here, Megyn Kelly.
Running around with fake axes coming out of their head.
But what I'm saying
it's gonna be jarring.
Right, but what I'm saying is, in polite society, someone who's raised it would not think that dressing as a Nazi is okay. I don't need the PC.
Or painting somebody. I mean, I think that there are limits to how far you want to go. Because if you're making people feel bad.
But I'm saying,
See, there are limits to how far you can go with free speech in a society. And apparently, according to Jenner Bush or Hager,
that's
Bushy Hager.
Bushy. Now I can't remember her name.
Anyway,
doesn't matter.
According to her, there are limits to this free speech stuff about, and that limit is if you're offensive, right? I mean, come on, listen to this.
There are limits to how far you want to go. Because if you're making people feel bad.
Do you see, if you're making people feel bad, Brad, the people are out there making people feel bad. Shouldn't we stop that?
People are
unless you're on the left
about everything. I can almost see the argument for the dressing as Nazis. I can almost see that, but then that's the slippery slope.
As soon as you accept that nonsense,
then you have to then everything else it turns into a big snowball rolling downhill. I don't know how you can equate dressing as Nazis to dressing as like Black Panther, for instance. If a white guy wants to put on the Black Panther,
I cannot dress as Black Panther. No.
Could you dress as a Nazi?
No.
But how are those two? I mean,
see, here you go. So I can't dress as Black Panther because that would be cultural appropriation.
Right.
I'm not black.
Right.
I can't dress as a Nazi even though the Nazis were white.
Right.
And I am white. Because Nazis are offensive.
And then that's where that.
So could a black person dress as Idi Amin?
Yeah. Yeah. They could.
He killed tens of thousands of people.
He had a bad side too. Yes.
Slaughtered people.
I don't know how popular the Idi Amin Halloween costume is this year, but I mean,
it's big. The kids love it.
Right.
What with the movies about him? Those were very popular. No, I mean, so they could dress as an African warlord that has killed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, slaughtered them, tortured them, because it's not cultural appropriation because they're black, but somehow that's not offensive because he didn't systematically try to exterminate an entire race and religion.
That's the problem when you try to wrap your head around the rules. That's why it starts to hurt.
The only rules are, how does it feel?
Yeah.
That's ultimately what this comes down to. The reason we can't understand this is because we apply logic and emotion equally or appropriately. And for these knuckleheads, it's just like the Bush girl.
Right? I don't need the PC. Or painting somebody. I mean, I think that there are limits to how far you want to go. Because if you're making people feel bad.
But I'm saying normal people kind of know where that line is.
Yes, right.
I mean, I have a son that dressed as a fireman with an axe and then insisted on carrying the axe around for like a week.
But there was some.
What is?
I don't know. She's kind of hung up on the axe, isn't
And
she?
is that a problem, carrying the axe around? I mean, they flashed a picture of her son who appears to be 4, 5, 6, somewhere.
Right. Well,
Okay,
I mean,
why? What do you?
Thor carries a hammer.
What's wrong with the axe?
I don't know. Unless he's burying
Okay.
it in people's heads.
All right.
Controversy on the Real Housewives. There was a controversy on the Real Housewives of New York with Luann, as she dresses Diana Ross, and she made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that was racist. And I don't know. I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day.
Who doesn't love Diana Ross, right?
Every morning I get up and I love Diana Ross.
I love her so I want to dress just like her, the whole thing, right?
I don't know how that got racist on Halloween. It's not like she's walking around
I have
in general.
not seen it, but it sounds a little racist to me.
Me too.
He's not seen it, but it sounds a little racist to him. Me too. It sounds like that to me. You want to dress as... See, that's the other thing about cultural appropriation. Some of it is not appropriating, it is celebrating. It's not all even mocking.
Right. It's not racism. It is... it's impersonation. It's...
Okay, you're right.
Racism is inherent. I mean, when I think of racism, I think of picturing or classifying another race as worthless or not as smart, not as
You're
whatever,
mocking,
talent.
you're
Yes.
insulting, you're demeaning.
Right.
You're degrading.
But dressing as Diana Ross doesn't seem like that's doing any of those things other than showing that you admire her or you liked her as an artist.
Who does not love Diana Ross? I know Barry Gordy loved her over and over and
often as
many
possible.
times.
Yes.
On the side in hotel rooms. And she became the front person for the Supremes because of that loving. But who doesn't love her?
She had the talent to back it up.
I mean, I would suggest you dress as Mary Wilson or Flo Ballard. I mean, if you're going to dress as Supreme. I mean, Mary was stacked.
Aren't they both?
But not as much as Flo, as Mary pointed out in her book.
Both dead?
No, Mary Wilson's alive.
Is she?
Flo Ballard's been dead for years, and she was replaced by Cindy Birdsong.
Wow.
Who, what's the matter? Cindy Birdsong was part of Patti LaBelle's Bluebells.
Wow. You got this down.
I know my Motown history, buddy.
Yes, you
I
certainly
know
did.
it. I got that. But maybe we just move on.
Good idea.
All right, get your communiques in. We got lots more to share, including a man who is suing his company in the UK for, well, I'll share that with you coming up. It's pretty troubling, pretty disturbing.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com. R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
You cannot retreat to your safe spaces. There are no therapy poodles allowed when facing the truth. And that's just how we like it. Straight, hard-hitting, conservatarian truth. On the rocks. No chaser. No marches. No protest. Only small, limited government, constitutional conversations. Exclusively on MoJo 50. We get into foreign policy. We get into national politics. We get into constitutional, libertarian, conservative ideology. We put the brakes on the media spin by destroying the lies, dismantling the narratives, and bringing you the stone-cold hard truth. Every weekend on MoJo 50. Join me, Adrian Slade, for a raging hour-long discussion, deconstructing the headlines and delivering you the entire full story. Only on MoJo 50. Live free.
Communique is coming in now via the social medias.
Snark lizard. The jackhole something, the jackhole Pokemon. I wanted to dress as a liberal for Halloween, but I didn't like the idea of having to go around all night with a giant stick up my ass.
It's very uncomfortable. Very, well, it's for some. Not for many of the liberals, surprisingly. Some actually enjoy it.
Let's see, Kathy in the Berg. So Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, Cartel Ron will be dressed up as the Supremes on Halloween this year.
Well, I don't know if Ron can hold up his end of the bargain.
I don't either.
I mean, remember, Flo was stacked, and that's why the boys liked her, Mary said.
I don't know. I think Ron could pull that off if he tried.
I'm already stacked, gentlemen.
Okay, see? Ron's got it going on. They used to make Flo stand back, like, when they were recording, like 10 feet from the mics because she had such a powerful voice.
And they didn't want her to show up, Diana Ross?
Exactly. So it's kind of difficult.
Donna tweeted, I'm now awaiting claims against founders for cultural squatting in some crazy party in Boston. Yes. Yep. That's what. Didn't they? Yeah, they dressed as Indians.
Yeah.
They dressed as Native Americans, and that was the first example of cultural appropriation by white guys.
She's talking about the Boston Tea Party, where
never stopped.
What is it? Sons of Liberty dressed as Injuns. That's what they say back in the day. The Injuns,
feather not dot,
and boarded the ships and whatever. So yeah,
tossed it overboard, and then threw the tea.
So did you know that wasn't the only Tea Party they had? The famed one. There were other ones. And all up and down the East Coast at the various ports like Charleston and other, they also stopped the tea from being offloaded. Or I think it was Charleston, they allowed it to be offloaded and it sat on the docks, but they stood there and wouldn't let them take it from the docks, though.
And didn't it end up
just rotting on the docks. So
why did the Boston event get all of the publicity?
Oh, because, I mean, it was pretty big what they did. So it's on an early December morning. In fact, the anniversary would be coming up first part of December. And they throw all the stuff overboard, and the next morning, thousands of people stood on the shore to watch in silence because they didn't want to tip off anybody what was going on.
Right.
So you had thousands of people out there standing and watching this, and in the morning, you'd see some of the tea floating to the top, and some of those people then this is how committed they were to this. They got in little boats, rowboats, whatever, went out there and were slapping the tea down, pushing it under the water.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was in brick form, wasn't it? I think it was.
It was in those cases. Yeah, it was in the.
So they had to. I would imagine by smashing it, they broke up the bricks and it would dissipate.
It took them hours to toss it overboard too. There was something like 250 chests.
Wow.
Or boxes, crates filled with tea.
Wow.
It took them hours. It's an amazing story when you actually read all the details.
Of all that tea.
Don't forget, coming up on Black Friday, we'll be giving away our prize pack that also includes the Minuteman watch and a gun from Tar River Arms. We mentioned that earlier. You can register by going to MoJo50.com, giving us your email address. And Tar River Arms is a new sponsor, and it is awesome. We've gotten so much good feedback, and I know they have been overwhelmed by the response they've had online, and it's because they're doing such a good job. They have revolutionized online firearm sales and purchases. And the biggest thing if you're purchasing a firearm online, the couple biggest things, number one, is actually being able to see the gun. Right. It's the same thing we all went through when we were learning to buy shoes or pants or anything else online. You can't get a good, but what is the bottom? What is it?
Right.
They have not only taken the high resolution photos so you can zoom in and all, but now they have the 3D imaging where you can just rotate the gun all the way around and see every angle. So awesome. Cool. You just go to the website and check that out. TarRiverArms.com. TarRiverArms.com and check it out. You'll be fascinated by it. But then the other thing is, how do you get the gun? How do you get it? There are legal restrictions. You've got to have it transferred to a federal firearms licensee in your state. Probably fairly close to your house, so you don't have to drive.
Right.
So now you got to take care. How do you do that? They take care of all that for you. You don't have to worry. Just go purchase the gun. They will ship it to the local firearms dealer of your choice. There's often a fee for that. They'll take care of it. Tar River Arms, no fee. They'll take care of the transfer fee. Oh, and the shipping? Yeah, you don't have to worry about that either. So you go there on the site, look at the high resolution 3D, flip it around. Isn't that awesome?
These high-res photos are, I mean, you can see the texture on the grips.
Yeah.
This is really amazing.
So you'll see what we're talking about. Well, in fact, I'll tweet out a link to it. TarRiverArms.com. I'll have Brad.
Yeah,
tweet
you
out a
can
link to it.
see if there's a nick
Every
or
little
anything,
grain.
every mark on the body of the gun.
And then they take care of it. They'll hold your hand through the entire thing to get it done. So you purchase the gun and you go and pick it up in your local community. And the price you see online is the one you're going to get because there's no shipping or transfer fees. By the way, they have an amazing deal right now. And I know they only had a handful of them and they were going quick. It's the P365 from Sig Sauer. Awesome. You got to check this. I don't even know they made it completely sold out.
They had.
We'll see. P365. Yeah. Now, normally, if you get the gun, you get the flatline holster, the TAC flatline, Comtac flatline holster, and the 12-round magazine. The total for that, if you buy it anywhere else, is just under $700, $696. The price at Tar River Arms is $585.
Wow.
Less than $100, or excuse me, more than $100 savings.
Yep. And it's a really cool gun.
TarRiverArms.com. Check them out today. Did you?
I like it. The MoJo Defense Package.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah. That's really cool.
That's very cool.
MoJo Defense Package.
TarRiverArms.com. Check it out today, and make sure to give us your email address at mojo50.com. Got a caravan update for you now. Do you like the caravan music?
I like that. I see what you did there.
Because when I think of being on a caravan, it just sounds so exotic and exciting, right?
It's like you're traveling to foreign lands and sampling exotic food.
And stealing stuff from them,
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
very, very exciting.
Pooping in the woods. That's my favorite part, really. I mean.
All right, the caravan has added even more people. And now we found out that the caravan may actually include some people from other parts of the world that would be considered terrorists. Yeah.
No. You are such a hater.
And Mike Pence now says that he has been told by Juan Orlando Hernandez, president of Honduras, who is responsible for the caravan. So this is the president of Honduras.
All right.
He told Mike Pence, our vice president, who is financing the caravan.
And who is it?
Take a stab.
Well, probably it must be somebody in Honduras.
Right. If you had told me, first of all, that the president of Honduras is telling you somebody financed that, I'd say, oh, somebody. Oh, no, it's all natural. It's local. Nope, not that. There's somebody doing this likely for some sort of statement or political purpose. Then I'd go to George Soros.
Yeah, if it was in this country. But if it's the president of Honduras.
Or I'd say something like Mexico, something.
Drug cartel?
That's a great guess, right? No. Supposedly, it's being financed by Venezuela.
They don't have any money. How are they financing anything?
So Venezuela is like, all right, I got an idea here.
They don't even have pets anymore.
We don't have any pets.
No, we've got
eaten all of
nothing.
them. We are starving in the streets. The citizens have all lost like 30% of their body weight. We don't have heat for our homes. We don't have anything. But I got something we need to spend money on. We got to find a way to dig through the couch cushions to come up with a little bit of change. Look through the ashtray of your. Well, we don't have cars.
Yeah, I know they're all burned.
Something like that. You know, look under the refrigerator. Is there an old penny? Something like that.
Squirrel pelts.
Something. Whatever it is, we got to scrounge up every penny we can get. And we put that into financing.
Yes.
A caravan.
Like a Dodge Caravan?
No. A caravan. A caravan of people.
A people caravan. What?
Right. That's right.
Great idea. Why are we going to do that?
Well, it's a caravan. Think how much good that'll do for us.
You know what? If we could get everyone here just to leave town.
No. It would be a caravan of people from Central America to America.
Yeah, this is making less and less sense the more I think about it.
I don't think you got it. It's a caravan. Don't you understand? Let me help you out. You're not getting the full picture of this.
Apparently not.
Okay, let me. You're only getting these words. When you hear the entire campaign, for example, it's a journey in the sky.
Now I see it. Now I see it.
As the sun comes from out of the day, yeah. We know who we are. See?
If you said anything to a theme song, it does sound grander, doesn't it?
Imagine all of the commercials.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Long, slow panning shots of the crowd, slow motion.
Exactly. We
At sunset.
blanket, right? We blanket the Central America media with this campaign, with this huge, marketing blitz.
Yes. And at the end of it all, the payoff is going to be
right. Yes.
What?
What do you mean?
Our payoff at the end of it, after we finance all of this as an investment into we get our payoff is what? I mean, millions of dollars we're getting back in return for this? Are we, all the effort that and the money and the squirrel pelts that we're putting into this, we're getting in return what exactly? Food for our people?
Did you hear the? It's got a theme song.
Got a theme song. It's got a theme song. Long, slow motion pans of the crowd.
People will march all across Mexico from Central America. It's a caravan, and we know who we are. You see?
So you're saying we've got no payoff in this. That's what you're saying at the end of it.
I don't know why. Why is he not getting this? Steve, you get this, right? Steve gets it.
We generally,
Paul gets it over there.
When we invest, we like to have some sort of return on our investment.
Let me help you out here.
At the end.
We're investing in people. See? We're investing in people.
Why didn't you just say you were a Democrat? Why? That would have cleared so much up in the beginning if you just said that at the start of the conversation.
Now, if there's any truth to this, anything, I don't know where they got their money, but if they are, what could be their only motivation? To screw with us? I'll show them. We'll send a caravan. That's right.
This is going to be the best joke ever. Thousands of people are going to show up. They're not going to know what to do.
We'll just stop them at the border. You know that. They'll just.
But this will be
just
great.
Stop them right there.
But we've got hidden cameras everywhere. It's the social memes are going to be amazing.
It's going to be big?
Amazing.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes. This is a fabulous campaign. Said no one.
Yeah.
Ever.
So, because see, if they're thinking that these people would be a spectacle, it's a spectacle.
It is a spectacle.
Sure, but it's not going to matter. I mean, look at that. The previous predictions of a blue wave, no.
No, this is not really helping the blue wave.
So the brown wave is not going to help the blue wave?
Nope, it is not.
Okay.
No.
So that's not helping it.
Nope.
So screwing with us,
no.
Maybe it's because they're like, we're going to get the poor, the people, and that'll negatively impact the economy and stuff.
Yeah, nope.
The dirty people who are pooping in the streets and stuff.
Not gonna.
Right, because we have Rosie.
Yes.
We already have her here. She's like a caravan unto herself. It's not a brown caravan.
No, between her and Michael Moore, we've got a pretty much taken care of.
Right. It kind of throws off the whole imagery of a journey in the sky. Throws that off.
It does sound romantic.
We don't want her to star in the commercial.
No. That would ruin the slow pan of the crowd at sunset as we look over their heads and look off into the distance at the hope and change that they are coming to experience.
What's the difference between a caravan and a convoy?
Trucks.
I don't think so.
Lots of trucks.
Because I don't think convoy was invented for 18-wheelers. I think the term convoy had been around prior to.
They needed CB
Is it
radios.
the size?
Convoy. A convoy would, I don't know. I would think a convoy would be vehicles. A convoy of, let's see. What
was his name? MC McCall?
MC McCall.
I know he liked convoys.
Yes, he did. The act of accompanying or escorting, especially accompanying or protecting for a convoy is apparently a protective force. So you would actually need a convoy with your caravan to protect the caravan. So they would work in tandem with each other, a group as of ships or motor vehicles.
So a convoy is protective?
Mm-hmm. Well, it says a group as of ships or motor vehicles traveling together with a protective escort or for safety or convenience. And I don't think with either of the safety or the convenience adjectives there would be combined with the caravan.
You might be right.
Just saying.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck. You got a copy on me, Love Machine. On 10 for Pig Pen, for sure.
I mean, that guy's hauling dynamite, and he needs all the help he can get. Am I right?
This still holds up today. See?
Now, would you rather have a journey in the sky, or would you rather have a convoy rocking through the night? Right?
Oh, that brings back the good old days. Boy, that was a simpler time.
Yeah, it was.
Damn it, I miss that a lot. A lot.
Well, we also got another update. The caravan paused yesterday. They paused, they said, to pay their respects to two of their fellow travelers who died en route.
Well, that sucks.
It does.
It sucks for the rest of the people. I mean,
Brad, how many people on or as part of the caravan, the journey in the sky, who knows who they are, how many of those people traveling knew those people who perished? Assuming those people actually perished,
Right.
and it's not just more propaganda lies.
I'm guessing maybe 10 or 12 knew those people. I mean,
At most.
Yeah.
And I'd say half of those people only knew him as guy in blue shirt.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
lady carrying bag.
Yes. You remember the
Or
dude back there in the brown hat?
Dude who bumped into me a mile back. Right?
Which
lady who stole my bottle of water.
But you bring up a very valid point. When they paused, did people run into the? I mean, when a caravan that size, yes,
you got to hold.
Is it like a train where you hear all the cars hitting each other?
It could be because it's like The Walking Dead. They're just kind of zombies walking.
I mean, if you're 3/4 of the way back in the caravan, you're like, why aren't you people moving?
So if they paused to pay their respects to the two people who had perished. And most of them, very few of them actually knew. Aren't most of them just pausing because they needed a break?
Yes.
I mean, how many were there were like, damn it, lady in brown flip-flops that stole my water. Why? Why her? No!
She was a giving soul.
Too soon. Before her time.
And did they pass the bodies forward so that everyone could pay their respects, or
did they parade by?
Right. Did the people in front have to double back on themselves to double back to the service that was happening 3/4 of the way back? And then what did they do with the bodies?
And why? And right. And why do you have to pause?
Why can't you pay respects while you're walking?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a caravan. The beauty of it is it moves. So you have to pause.
Yeah.
Keep marching.
Yeah. I mean, if
okay,
they're smart.
listen. Attention, everyone. Just keep marching. Just march on by and pay your respects as you pass. Lady with brown shirt who stole water.
And don't stop. Just keep moving, because otherwise it's the train
gonna
effect,
be trouble,
and
right.
everyone runs into each other.
It's the bottleneck.
It really
Everyone
is.
taps their brakes, and what happens? You cause the traffic jam.
Yes, and then you've got to stop, and then there's an investigation, and it slows down the entire caravan. It's
almost like, and I hate to always be the skeptical and cynical one,
but
it's
good at it.
I know. It's almost like this story about them pausing to pay their respects is crap. It's almost like this is just the media trying to gin up some.
It does feel
some
that
bad
way,
feelings,
doesn't it?
because see, here's the thing. Nobody's making them march. If there really is even a caravan, and I'm not even convinced of that. I don't know if the whole thing is just CGI. Would you know?
Could be on the same stage where they faked the moon landing.
Capricorn 1?
Yes.
I saw Capricorn 1.
I watched that documentary. I know exactly what happened.
Honestly, they could fake this entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, you've never really seen you've seen a couple of really cool drone shots going over. If you stopped and freeze framed and counted those people, maybe 400, 500. I mean, you could
Right, and you look and you go like this, you're like, there's lady in green pants up, and is that her like halfway back? They just double it up then.
And I would challenge you to go back and watch The Walking Dead first season when they had to add zombies into the groups.
They just did.
Yeah, and you cannot tell the difference between the real zombie and the fake zombie.
They could CGI this.
Yes,
this whole thing could be fake. And if they did, and somebody was like, hey, media, this is not real. I've been on this entire area where there's nothing here. In fact, I have proof right here, video from the soundstage where they filmed this thing and the CGI. What would people say about them?
They're crazy and they're some sort of conspiracy theorist and they hate brown people.
Oh, there it is. It would start with racist.
Yeah. Brown people hater.
And then the cover. It's just a conspiracy. This is how awful the Trump lovers are. The Trumpkins. This is what they've done. They're saying it's not real.
They'll stoop to any level.
Right. This could happen. And if by chance the truth actually came out, where there was so much of it, it was overwhelming that the left would be, look at this. No, don't look away. Don't look away.
You look at this.
Where they had to admit it. Then the claims would still be racist and they would say, you know what, though? Isn't the point of this what matters most?
Yes.
That people could be suffering and decide to be a part of a caravan in the sky.
Yeah.
Knowing who they are.
Yeah. And why would you hate such a beautiful thought? You're a hater.
Yes. That's exactly what they would do.
Yeah. There's no winning is essentially the lesson here. We can't win either way.
So nobody is forcing, if this caravan really exists, anybody to march. To my knowledge, nobody is. I mean, maybe some kids are. Come on, let's go. We're going to America. They got Whataburgers there. Nobody's forcing you to march.
Nope.
So as awful as it is that somebody would be marching, maybe even driven to march, feel they need to march, and then succumb on the journey, as awful as that is, they could have just sat down.
Yeah. Well, and as much as the mainstream media in this country hates garbage and trash and, the Pacific Ocean garbage dump and all of that, imagine the refuse created and left behind by a caravan of such size. We've seen no stories of the waste and the refuse left behind as this horde of people passes any given place. You would think there would be piles and piles of trash, unless they are just the cleanest humans on the planet.
Right, and the Pacific Island garbage dump is fake. I've pointed that out, how it's all, a couple of random pictures, but not Why hasn't anybody? This thing is supposedly now twice the size of Texas,
yes,
I think they said.
Huge, twice the size of Texas, yes.
That floating garbage dump, there is no drone footage of anybody just flying. Look at this, folks. I've flown this drone over this garbage pile. Remember, twice the size of Texas for 700 miles. Look at this.
Yeah, there's
not even
nothing. No one has
not even 14 feet of it.
Some good close-ups, and I don't doubt that there's trash floating around.
Of course,
in the
there's
ocean,
some,
yes.
sure.
But to say it's twice the size of Texas, no.
It's all fake. They could just stop, Brad.
I found pictures. Refugees leave trash and feces. Oh, it's in Europe. Sorry.
How do you distinguish between the stuff left behind by refugees and just the trash in Europe?
That's a good question. And that's a really good stroller someone left behind in this. So,
Brad, these people could just stop. They're marching and the boo-hoo-hoo. Yes, I'm sure your life is awful. If you're in Central America, the odds of you having a good life probably slim because you do not have a strong middle class. In fact, many classes like America does, because of your structure of government. If you had a constitution that talked about personal freedom and responsibility and what the government cannot do to you, protecting you from an oppressive government, you would and support of capitalism, you would have more opportunities and safety and security. All of this would be there.
Teachable moment, in other words.
Right. So I'll bet your life is crap. But you've already left that crap for a slightly less crap in Mexico.
Right.
And Brad, all you have to do is stop. You don't have to keep walking. No. Okay, guys, it's better. Why are we still walking another 1,500 miles to a place that has told us they're not going to let us in?
Yeah, no one has the answer to that question. They,
I I don't know if you know this, but it's easier to not do things. Brad,
I've learned that.
Okay, when we get off the air, let's go do stuff. Or we could just not do stuff.
And sit.
Which is easier?
Not doing stuff, yes.
Brad, I went running yesterday.
Yeah, see?
Not running, much easier.
Yes, it is.
Much easier to not run than it is to run.
I did not run yesterday, and it was, I'm sure, easier than running.
Yeah, I mean, I had to to myself, okay, you got to go I want to run today, and I'm going to get out there. And then when I was running, I had to keep doing stuff. It's not just do stuff. I had to keep doing stuff. Next foot, next foot, next foot.
Yeah.
For miles, I had to do that.
Breathing in and out. The whole,
the
heart. Yes.
And the heart, yes. My heart had to do stuff.
It's a whole lot simpler to sit in the chair and just be.
Okay, so we're out of immediate danger. Let's keep marching. Now, I'm not buying it.
Well, according to one migrant in the caravan, I don't care if I die. That's the headline. So.
But then why didn't you stay? The whole thing was you're afraid of death.
Right. No, I don't care if I die, according to USA Today. No. 7,200 Central American migrants.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yes.
All right, very good.
They're calling it an assault. Excuse me. Donald Trump is calling it an assault.
Get your tweets in. Get them in. You can also post on Facebook and also MeWe.com. Please sign up for an account today. MoJo Wild Rice is something that's helped me over the years stay as svelte as I am. If not for that and a couple of other clients and some doing stuff,
you'd be the size of Ron.
I would be 3 or 4 times the size of Ron, who is proportionately the size of Texas.
Yes.
To the Pacific.
Yes.
To his studio, he is the size of the Pacific garbage dump is to the Pacific.
Yes, he is.
It's to scale.
Pretty sure there's drone video of that.
Yeah.
MoJo Wild Rice can help you too. First of all, it tastes great. So it can be a simple and easy part of your diet. You're not like, you got to eat this healthy stuff. No, this is something you would seek out. Once you try it and you have it made the rice made right, the correct way, you will love it. It'll become a staple in your diet. But the good news is it's uber healthy. It's like a superfood because it doesn't have all the same starch and calories that other rices do. But it is almost a complete protein by itself, a plant-based protein, trace minerals and vitamins, naturally gluten and cholesterol-free, and it tastes sensational. Chef Patrick is going to make MoJo Wild Rice.
Oh, is he?
On Black Friday. So he's, look at, this is our idea. We're going to have a rice bar. You ever like the mashed potato bars and stuff where you fill mashed potatoes and you top it yourself?
You're not teasing me right now.
No.
He's
going to do it. So he's going to put the big bowl of rice.
All right.
And then there'll be either savory or sweet toppings, and you could go. So you can put bacon with it and some eggs and some broth so you can make more like a soup.
That is fabulous. Then I will come to work that day.
Yes, that's what we're paying you in rice. MoJoWildRice.com. It's the edible memories from the North Woods of Minnesota as put forth by Minnestalgia. It's a great company that has all kinds of other good things, the jellies, the jams, the syrup. You know what I may do? Bring in some pepper jam or jelly for you over the cream cheese that I love so much.
So good.
Try the whipped honeys and also the mixes at MoJoWildRice.com. Please check it out and buy some today.
The squirrel pickled with the finest MoJo. This is a great.
By the way, we will have pickled squirrel as a topping for the savory rice.
Oh, I think you're teasing me now.
No, both pickled and unpickled squirrel.
Death by gun is a whole lot quicker than death by dehydration in the Mexican desert.
Right, exactly. Guy busts in your house.
Common sense.
Says, I'm taking your wife and children. And going to sex traffic them or whatever. And they shoot you in the head versus we're going to march all of you through the desert.
It just seems, one seems a whole lot simpler than the other.
It's almost like they're lying to us.
Almost.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is accusing the Saudis of engineering what Mr. Trump calls the worst cover-up in history.
The president is criticizing the Saudi plan for the murder of Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi, who was a critic of the Arab kingdom.
It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups.
Even though the president says the murder was a bad situation, he says Saudi Arabia remains a good ally. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Vice President Pence says there is no question that Middle Easterners are part of that caravan that's been moving north through Mexico with the goal of entering the U.S. illegally.
The United States of America intervenes and prevents 10 terrorists or suspected terrorists from coming into our country every day. So it is inconceivable that there would not be individuals from the Middle East as a part of this growing caravan.
More than 7,000 people are on the march. President Trump is defending tariffs. He tweets that billions of dollars are and will be coming into United States coffers because of tariffs. National Security Advisor John Bolton, wrapping up 2 days of talks in Moscow, says that U.S. withdrawal from a 1987 nuclear arms treaty poses no threat whatsoever to Europe.
The problem is there are Russian INF violative missiles in Europe now. The threat is not American withdrawal from the INF treaty. The threat are the Russian missiles. The threat is the Russian missiles already deployed.
He says President Trump and Russian President Putin hope to meet next month in France. Boston takes Game 1 of the World Series, an 8-4 victory over the L.A. Dodgers. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are down 121 points. NASDAQ futures off 63. S&P futures down 19. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
This is Tim Barton from Wall Builders with another moment from American history. In the early 1700s, the Reverend John Wise preached that all men were created equal, that taxation without representation was tyranny, and that God's preferred form of government was the consent of the governed, all of which is language recognizable in the Declaration of Independence. Why? Because in 1772, the Sons of Liberty, led by founders such as Sam Adams and John Hancock, reprinted and distributed the Reverend Wise's sermons. So 4 years later, much of the Declaration reflected the language of those sermons by John Wise. In 1926, on the 150th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, President Calvin Coolidge affirmed the thoughts in the Declaration can very largely be traced back to what John Wise was saying. Few today know that the Declaration was so strongly influenced by the Reverend John Wise. For more information on this and other stories, go to wallbuilders.com.
Mothership has landed.
Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on MoJo 5-0. Big happenings and going on coming up on Black Friday. Make sure you are prepared now. Share with your friends and family. Anybody that you know that has a business or is considered starting a business, you're going to get free commercials on our Building America Marathon.
Crazy. That's us.
If this
We are
goes
crazy.
5% as big as I think it will, it'll still be massive. The turnout that we've had in the past couple of years, done on a much smaller scale, only for a couple of hours, has been massive. This is a 12-hour marathon where we're just giving free commercials. There is not another company on the planet that does this. Nobody, ever.
Because they're all smarter than we are.
What do you mean?
They charge people to be on their airwaves, and they don't just give it away.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a different business model, but we are bound and determined to make this one work.
Huh.
Yeah. There's some. I know it sounds crazy, but some.
I really wish you would have been at the meetings. That sounds.
Yeah, it's,
making money sounds good.
It really is. It's amazing what you can do when you have money coming in to a business. That's just
wow.
Yeah. So this.
I really hate Carl.
Could yeah.
That was his suggestion, you know.
Carl is.
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's why we were able to get Carl so cheap as a sales leader. Because,
I hope we're not paying him because we don't have money apparently to pay him now. All right. Well, there's no other company in the world that does this, that just gives away free commercials. And this has been my commitment over the years to do everything we can to help, to see how we can help. One of the biggest difficulties in the world right now is to get exposure. You can start a business easier and easier with everything on. What do you need? Business forms? Boom, there's a website for it. Plenty of websites for it. Anything you need and a bunch of stuff you don't need, you can get easily. A lot of it very cheaply. But that advertising, that promotion.
And a bank account. That's always.
Bank accounts can be difficult as well. That's a long story. We need to tell that story someday. In fact, I'm going to tell that later on, at least in part.
Wow. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
But getting that exposure, that's what's difficult. So we know there's often when you start a business, you don't have money for advertising. So what are you going to do to break out? Well, this is one of those things. Even that little springboard, and we've had companies over the years say, wow, it's just that exposure that got a little bit of money coming in and people sharing because it's a quality product. Our business took off.
Yeah.
Lots of them. And we're going to continue that on this platform and go bigger and bigger. Black Friday is one of the first steps in doing that, a 12-hour marathon. So tell people right now to prepare for it. If you want to pre-register to make sure your business is in, you can do so at MoJo50.com. It's just right at the top.
Yeah, thanks, Doc. I was just going to say, everybody, we'll take emails directly, but the best way to pre-register is to click. There is a Building America logo right on the front page of MoJo50.com. It'll take you to a short form. Fill it out. Tell us about your business or your product. That'll get us.
By short, you mean 3 pages long?
No, it's really only about, 6 or 7 fields. But
yeah, and it has to be your business.
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just be an employee or of one. It's got to be something you're truly connected, a spokesperson on behalf of it, or the owner, operator, manager.
That's right. And then we'll get back with them and schedule them. So.
Right. So that is at the website. So Carl's idea of having the homing pigeons fly here with the message on their leg, that you shot that down?
Yep. Nope. We shot that down.
And I think
such great
too much
ideas,
to clean up after homing pigeons.
All right. You will go to the top of the line if you write the name of your business down on the back of a $100 bill and send it to us.
That helps a lot. It
really
does. Carl be damned, right?
Yeah.
One of the companies that I've helped over the years is Element Mattress. I have an Element mattress. A lot of times people advertise stuff, whatever. I use it. I have one. It's the home right now. It's queen size Element mattress, and it is fabulous. It's real and it's spectacular. You can find out more about the Element mattress at elementmattress.com, which is amazing.
Wow, that is
that they named their business.
That is amazing. Wow.
That
think about
that they said that the foresight we're going to name it for what their website would end up being.
That's just
coincidental. Sometimes you just get lucky in business.
Yeah.
Elementmattress.com. Look at the carbon or the copper fiber mattress, the Element copper fiber mattress. It has little copper fibers in it, which is naturally antimicrobial, antifungal. I don't know about you, but having a mattress that has fungus and microbes,
it's not as much fun as it sounds, because eventually that it starts to grow to your skin and it sticks you to the mattress and it just never ends up well. So the antimicrobial and the antifungal features of this are far superior.
For a limited time, and that window is closing quickly, you can get 50% off any Element mattress, but you got to use the promo code MoJo50.com. Yes. They are pricey. This is top of the line. You are buying quality, and you will have it for a long time with a lifetime guarantee. But get 50% off with the promo code MoJo50.
How much?
50% off. That's half
stunning.
price.
50% off. That's
right.
Crazy.
50%, MoJo50.com. And if you're still like, well, I just don't know, it's a little whatever, try it for 100 nights, absolutely free. If you don't like it, just send it back. You know, for a full refund. It's elementmattress.com. That's elementmattress.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And the headlines are brought to you by elementmattress.com. Well, the winning Mega Millions jackpot ticket holder is not in this room. It is not in this building. It's not in this county, state, this region, South Carolina.
How do you know I didn't buy my ticket in South Carolina?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. I think you may have assaulted me 30 years ago, though. I think I distinctly remember the details of the assault of you on me.
Hashtag Mega Millions, too.
A lucky South Carolina resident woke up with a whole different outlook on life this morning. One ticket was sold somewhere in South Carolina. The state's education lottery announced early Wednesday.
Isn't luck a relative term? I'm just saying.
Yes,
right.
It really is. The funny thing is the whole education thing. If you noticed lately, they were talking about how the money's not going to benefit education anymore.
Oh, yeah. The quick version is, if you're not familiar with this, I think it's pretty much every state or any lottery, they sell it by saying, hey, no, the money, profits go to education. You go, oh, okay, great. But if you notice, they're not saying, hey, you don't have to send us as much taxes because the schools are funded. All they've done is, it's a shell game. They say, we used to put, let's for round number say, $10 million into the state education fund. Now they say we get $10 million from the lottery, so we put that in.
Yep.
They don't leave $20 million so the schools are better and more.
No.
They take their original $10 million out.
Yes.
It's a shell game. It's all it is.
They saved $10 million thanks to you. Well, that one lucky winner, though, a $913 million cash payout.
Imagine that today.
Imagine the hassle.
Not just waking up where, hey, I won $20 million, which would be amazing, of course. But you win money, and I've got a lottery ticket here worth $913 million.
Yeah, but you still have to pay taxes on that.
Okay, I'm going to walk away with almost $700 million.
That's hardly worth getting out of bed over.
I mean, I'd still work, but
yeah, sure you would. You'd be a part of the caravan. Speaking of caravans, a new caravan is headed to the U.S. from El Salvador.
A second caravan?
A second caravan.
Do they have the same marketing scheme?
Well, they just might. At least 5,000 immigrants from Honduras already in Mexico on their way to the U.S. Another caravan is forming in El Salvador with plans to cross into U.S. soil. The caravan, which already contains hundreds, is expected to depart on its long journey next week. This, according to NBC News.
No. What are you going to do? You're the Johnny-come-lately caravan?
Well,
I'm serious. You're the second. What are the USFL?
It's like the B team,
right? What are you, the XFL?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about you. No one. You missed your opportunity. I'm sorry. There is one caravan, and you're not it, because I'd be willing to bet if you're the second caravan, you also do not have the marketing campaign.
Oh no, you don't. You don't have the theme song,
right?
But what you do have is WhatsApp.
What's that?
The WhatsApp. The
What's
WhatsApp.
that?
The WhatsApp app. There's a group within this caravan of about 230 members with the WhatsApp app that they are using to help organize. So I think what this caravan has done is taken the lessons learned from the original caravan and used technology to improve their caravan.
I'm sorry there. I got a little quiet. Over here.
Yeah, yes, you in the corner.
Question over here?
Sir, yes, sir.
Doc Thompson, MoJo 50 Radio. I have a question.
Yes.
So they can afford cell phones, technology with apps and that for travel.
We can't.
But they need to come to the U.S.
Microphone isn't working. Any other questions here in the room? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the families and the children that are going to be making this hard trek all the way to the United States.
I prefer difficult.
Yes, well, that too. So it'll be interesting to see if that caravan gets off the ground. Moving on to other money news, a chunk of the moon fell to Earth and someone paid over $500,000 for it. $600,000 for a 12-pound chunk of the moon that fell to Earth.
Okay.
You just, when you're lucky, you're lucky.
Next to the Star Registry, this is one of the greatest scams ever.
Lunar meteorite was sold at auction in Boston for more than $600,000.
Okay, I got it. I'm just spitballing here. You have lunar rocks, clearly a scam, folks. And you have the pet rock. We do the pet lunar rock.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Then the next level is the pet Mars rock.
Would those be red? Those would be red rocks.
Sure. When we just go out to the...
I was going to say Red Rock Canyon out there by Vegas.
Some up, right. And then we do the pet rock from Uranus.
That's a winner. That's got winner written all over it. That's got winner written all over it.
You know the International Star Registry.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's registered in the Library of Congress.
I think I bought someone once.
They write it down and they put it in a book.
In a book, actual paper.
Right.
In a book.
Now, here's what I want to do. I want to sell, and I think somebody may have started doing this, sell little plots of land on the moon.
I think, didn't someone already
I think they were,
to do
because
that?
if I remember right, plots near the Sea of Tranquility were going for a premium.
Well, it's because you're right there on the Sea of Tranquility.
And it's beautiful.
You get, yes, I mean, especially this time of year, you don't get views like that just any time.
The only thing more pretty is, of course, the sparkling blue waters of the MoJo River that cascade past our window each and every morning.
You cannot afford land on this river anymore. It's just become so pricey and so scarce, really, because there are, people set up all along.
Damn, that Star Registry was such a great
yes,
idea.
It was. Aren't you sorry that you didn't think about it?
I got to find out who that was and talk to him. I want to know the final because we haven't heard about that in a while. But for about 10 years, they ran a boatload of commercials.
Yes, they did.
Man, name a star after someone.
They've retired to the south of France now.
Millions of stars. But on top of that, they didn't name it twice.
That's you're not supposed to point things out like that.
It's uncomfortable when you're standing, romantic setting, maybe at a restaurant, you're looking up outside at the sky, and you're like, honey, that's the one I named for you. And the guy at the table next door goes,
pointing at the same star.
Wait a minute.
Damn it.
She slaps him in the face. You said it was my star.
By the way,
you said it was Agnes.
If you think that the lunar rock is a scam, it is considered one of the most significant lunar meteorites ever found because not only its large size, but because it has partial fusion crust. That's better than stuffed crust.
No, and mine is full fusion crust. It's not partial, so mine is much more valuable.
This one has cheese in it. How about yours?
Is it money? Then mine has cheddar.
That's what
it has Munster, Colby Jack.
This is Swiss. Dozens were injured after an escalator sped out of control and crashed people into the pile at the bottom. You know what? No one understands how dangerous escalators are.
I know. And
these things are terrible. They really are. You ever been in an escalator accident?
No, I'm sorry, I haven't.
Disneyland. Probably 1985. The escalator to Space Mountain would not stop. So this thing's going up. We're all on this thing. And
escalators don't stop.
No, they don't. They just keep going. This thing did not stop. The plaza at the top got full.
Right.
But the escalator kept going. So we actually had to jump over the side of the escalator into a little part that you're not supposed to be just to keep from getting smashed into the rest of people. But escalators are very, very dangerous.
14 million people a year are injured in escalator accidents. Brad Staggs is one of those people.
The emotional trauma alone from being in that escalator incident, I don't think you understand just how deep this pain goes.
Oh my! I know it happens, and I mean sometimes kids get stuck in them, and that's truly very dangerous. But something about an escalator going too fast.
Have you seen the video of this one?
No.
This one, I think what happened was that
and this was a down escalator.
This was I think the thing finally just kind of gave out, and you see all these people we'll tweet out a link to this, but it is dumping people there at the bottom. And
how is it dumping them?
Well, I think it
goes too fast, so at the bottom they don't know what to do.
Yeah, the steps fell off basically, I guess, off the track, and so all these people are just.
I mean, if it fell off the track, but I guess if it went really, really fast and it got towards the bottom, you'd also be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Right. Well, and at the very bottom, next time you're on an escalator, look, there's these little things. They're called combs at the very bottom, and it keeps the stuff from going in the little grooves. If you get caught on one of those combs, it will rip you, literally. It'll rip you up.
But as they're going down, they're like, this is really going fast. Oh my gosh, this is
ow. Yeah. So next time you're on an escalator, and don't ever Google escalator accident.
Don't do it.
That's
going to be trouble.
That and blue waffle.
Blue waffle escalator accident. Together, trouble.
This portion of headlines is brought to you by The Rich Solution.
The what solution?
The Rich Solution.
Where would I find information about the Rich Solution?
You know, if you wanted more information on the Rich Solution, I would recommend you go to therichsolution.com.
The way I understand it, they tell about turning their life around, the Riches, especially Gwen Rich, who has been suffering with inoperable cancer for years, but she has survived longer than most people do with the type of cancer she has. She attributes that to a whole lot of different things, and they're spelled out. It's living properly as far as physically and physical health, but she lays it all out in her book, but also spirituality and also supplements. It's all in the book. You can find out details at therichsolution.com, but the supplements are one of the keys. These are vitamins that are combined in the proper amounts and balances to have the optimum effect. You know, a lot of times you get vitamins and you just flush them all out. They just pass through your system because they got to be combined with other things.
Yep.
The Rich Solution has put them together in the proper combinations to deal with different things. So you need digestive, you can buy a package for that. You want something for circulatory, you can get it for all different kinds of things like that. And you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, so to speak, because you're not just flushing them out of your system. It's actually going to work for you. And these are top-of-the-line supplements. Folks, these work. They're going to be good for you. Gwen Rich, Adam Rich, living, walking, breathing examples of how they work. Check them out today. Go to therichsolution.com.
T-minus 13. We are at T-minus 13 days until the most important election of our lifetime.
It is. It's the most important.
T-minus 13 days. Speaking of days, today is United Nations Day. Please.
Still?
I mean, I don't know why Ron chose to put National Food Day up on the screen today. It is National United Nations Day.
You mean like the organization?
Yes, this is October 24th. This is the anniversary of the founding of the United Nations.
Well, thank God. That certainly deserves to be celebrated.
Something else fascinating. On this day in 1901, the first barrel ride over Niagara Falls.
That we know of.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Did she survive?
They, I think, survived in the following years and decades that ensued. I think 5 died and 15 were injured. Yes, there's nothing quite like a ride over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
You been to the falls?
I've been to the falls.
Ron, you been to Niagara Falls?
Never once wanted to get in a barrel and go over the falls.
By the way, Ron, it's real and it's spectacular.
Is it really? I've never been. I'd love to.
Beautiful.
It is mammoth. When you're standing by it, I mean, it's a spectacle. Of course, it's amazing. But when you're right next to it, or when you're down, because you can get like there's on the Canadian side, that's the horseshoe. Yeah. You can stand right next to it with a little half wall.
Yep.
So I mean, the water is probably. There's a little strip of land, maybe a foot wide between the wall, and that you could almost reach out and just touch it. To see it flowing over that much is pretty awesome.
And you know, eventually it's going to flatten out. I mean, the erosion of the falls. At one point, they were trying to figure out how to stop the river so that they could repair the falls.
Right.
Eventually, it'll just be one big flat. So I guess the point here is see the falls before they're just a flat river.
My wife is rabidly anti-Niagara Falls.
Why?
Hates it.
Why?
Hates it with a passion. Like you can't even mention it to her. It's a trigger.
Okay. What?
Wow.
No reason?
Well, she immigrated here with her mom when she was about 5 or 6, and they first lived in the Rochester area. And anytime one of her relatives came, because you know how they are, they just come like every week, the Asians, just groups of them.
Never leave.
They're like, hey, we got to go see Niagara Falls. So as a child, in her mind, every other weekend, it's got to go to Niagara Falls. Damn, come on. Seen it, bunch of water. So if I even mention
better than going out, and walking the dog.
Okay.
In 2003, it was the last flight of this airplane.
Spruce Goose.
No, the Concorde. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
It's right up until
they're
the
supposedly working on an updated version they're going to bring back, and it had one significant accident.
Yeah.
Out of all those flights for all those years, this shows you how public perception taints all of this stuff. Overwhelmingly, it was successful.
Thank you. Yes. Kevin Kline is 70 years old today. PewDiePie is 28. And Griffin Arnland is 20 years old today. Hard to believe Griffin has...
okay, you've also got to explain PewDiePie to Ron.
Everybody.
Ron, you know
PewDiePie?
PewDiePie?
No, I know exactly
okay,
who
most
PewDiePie
people do
is.
that.
You, Grandpa, are the only person who
No, I know who PewDiePie
I have a
is.
12-year-old daughter. I know who PewDiePie is.
Did she watch PewDiePie?
Yes.
Wasn't PewDiePie
Even as
the one who went to the Japanese forest? No, that's a different one.
PewDiePie is the gamer, probably the most significant gamer online, making
YouTube, you bet.
tens of millions of dollars, maybe a month now at this point.
Yes.
This guy is uber wealthy for playing video games, letting people watch. I could not wrap my head around this phenomena. And then I finally kind of figured it out. We watch football.
Yeah.
We watch baseball.
That's true.
We're not playing. It is a game, and granted, it's a sport, but still, that's all it is.
Yes. Unfortunately, in 30, 40 years, we're going to have raised a generation of people who do nothing but watch. Shall we move on?
Who was the other one?
And now, an important transgender update.
Now with sprinkles.
Well, I don't know if Griffin Arnland is transgender, but Griffin Arnland has got 546,000 Instagram followers.
Okay, sorry.
More than you, me.
Now with your
Ron.
sprinkly transgender update.
LGBT flyers picturing Lady Liberty, guns, beer, and Trump have been sent to Nashville gay bars, and they are taking it as a threat.
Pictures?
Yes.
Flyers?
Now, see, this is something, I even have the T-shirt. This is what they are taking as a threat.
The L is for liberty, and it has a red, white, and blue statue of liberty. G is for gun, I'm guessing.
Like the one they used at the Pulse nightclub.
B is for beer. And T is for Trump.
Yes.
I could have come up with a better B and T, but
but the thing is, the owners of these bars are taking this as a threat. People are sending
because of the gun.
Because of the gun. Melvin Brown is the owner of Stirrup Sports Bar. He found the Stirrup Sports Bar. Get it? Stirrup. They found the flyer Thursday in his bar's mailbox. He called it disturbing and said whoever created it was sending a very deliberate threat. I don't know. I got one of these shirts. I thought it was funny.
It is a threat if you are triggered by this nonsense. That's all it is.
No one has a sense of humor about what's funny about liberty and guns and beer and Trump. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I understand the concerns. These people feel like they're targeted by this stuff, guys, but you got to give some people some credit as the benefit of the doubt, or we are ending up in a very bad place.
Yeah, no kidding. And let's, shall we end on that or this? All right, I'm going to give you a choice of A or B. A is Meghan Markle, B is Sarah Silverman. Go.
Sarah Silverman, go.
Sarah Silverman, you have chosen the highbrow story of the day. Sarah Silverman admits she allowed friend Louis C.K. to masturbate in front of her, and she says it was amazing.
Who hasn't?
I know,
Who
right?
hasn't?
It just,
How is this a story?
Ron was just telling me the other day about he had allowed Louis C.K. in front last year, obviously.
And I would say, Sarah, that is the only word you could come up with that really does it justice. Amazing. It is amazing.
I mean, it is. You think Niagara Falls is amazing?
No, not nearly as impressive as Louis C.K. You're standing right next to it and see the power of the flow.
It is
just spectacular.
For a man of his age, it is really, stunning beyond belief.
And committed to his craft.
He really is.
He's not passive about his self-pleasure.
No,
I mean, the
not at
guy
all.
is working it, so...
And he can do at a moment's notice. I think it's very impressive. And thank you to The Rich Solution for sponsoring such a profound set of headlines this morning.
I'm sure they're second-guessing it right about now with the Louis C.K. masturbation story.
The Radio Revolution, MoJo 50.
Before the dust is even settled on the contentious Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, an anonymous gay man has stepped forward to accuse Senator Cory Booker of sexually assaulting him in 2014. Senator Booker must immediately resign. Here's why. According to Democrats, an alleged survivor must be believed even if no evidence exists to support their claim. The man who came forward to allege Booker's assault says that Booker pulled him into a restroom and sexually assaulted him. The accuser also claims to have cooperating evidence of the event. He further states that he reached out to those in the Me Too movement for support, but they weren't really interested in hearing about his sexual assault. If we follow the same unconstitutional rules put forth during Kavanaugh's hearings by Democrats and Me Too movement activists like actress Alyssa Milano, Booker is presumed guilty of sexual assault until he proves that he is innocent. So what's next? A public congressional hearing should be convened, allowing the accuser and the accused to each give their side of the story, with particular emphasis on the demeanor of Booker to judge whether he still has the temperament to be a senator should he be able to prove his innocence. Senator Mazie Hirono must tell the man and her party to shut up and stand up for the rights of this anonymous accuser. We should expect nothing less. And finally, the FBI should be enlisted to do a thorough investigation, which means more than one investigation because Democrats felt that 7 FBI investigations were inadequate to prove Kavanaugh was not guilty. I'm sure that Democrats ascribing to their own rules will join me in declaring that there is no other recourse available to Booker. He must tender his resignation immediately. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on MoJo 50. Lots of communiques coming in via social media.
Sneaking Doc says the Sarah Silverman Louis C.K. story is actually the highbrow story of 3 days ago, but MoJo News moves at the Brad Staggs pace. And at Sneaking Doc, I don't know where you're getting your news, but it's obviously, let's just move on.
Okay.
You know, when you have a story like that, you have to craft the delivery. You can't just
rush it.
You can't just blurt. You can't just spurt it out like that.
No,
I mean,
no, of course not.
You actually you have to massage the story. You have to.
To their credit, I did see the headline yesterday.
Well, and as did I. I mean, but you have to make this more of an event. Let's. I think we just move on from there.
All right,
that's what we do. Polish American jackhole with a huge patriotic desk. I don't like you anymore. Learned one day there will be a Louis C.K. story on Friday Leftovers, possibly in front of a police station or something along those lines.
I mean, Louis C.K., why is this guy in trouble?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. He pleasured himself. Like, all the stories were him pleasuring himself, right? Okay.
Yes.
He wasn't grabbing somebody else, wanting them to pleasure themselves, trying to pleasure them,
he didn't
forcing
strap
them to
anybody
pleasure
to
him.
a chair.
Okay. This was all about him pleasuring himself, but in front of people. That can be disturbing to some, not so much to Sarah Silverman.
Right.
But okay, I got it.
To each his own.
And there were some where he pushed the issue, shall we say.
I won't even ask you to explain that, but all right.
I mean, it wasn't just like, hey, Sarah, you want to watch me masturbate? Nah, okay.
Okay, so he
right,
did.
it was,
All right. So.
Right, it was something like that. So I get that, but darn, guys, he's been ostracized for this now?
Well, not only that, but wasn't the subject of his comedy, I mean, quite often about his freakishness and
right.
I mean, that was his shtick, that he was weird and that he did weird things, and then it came out that that he did weird things.
We're not going to get through this.
No, we
I
really
think we
aren't.
just move on.
I think you're absolutely right.
Joining us now, the Director of Regulatory Action Center for FreedomWorks, Ken Cuccinelli. How are you, sir?
I am good. Interesting discussion to wander in on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to comment on Louis C.K., we'll let you, or we can just talk about the new regulatory relief efforts in D.C. I'm just, either one. It's up for grabs.
Happy deregulatory success is goodness for all. So let's go there.
So
goodness for all.
So this is a really cool thing. The Trump administration, the president had mentioned on the campaign trail that he was going to try to deregulate because that's good for business in America. We know we have too many rules, and it looks like they are really following what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, they're we're you know, it's strange enough when politicians actually keep their promises, but the president set a standard of, you know, getting rid of 2 regulations for every one they implement, and they're blowing it away. I mean, they are blowing it away no matter how you measure it. If you just measure it as significant regulatory actions, they're at over 4 to 1. If you take everything, they're at something like 10 or 20 to 1. They were 22 to 1 in their first year. Now they're at something like 10 to 1. But the key is not just the ratio. It is good to shrink the regulatory burden, but the real key is why it's important to shrink the regulatory burden. As we're named at Freedom Works Foundation, freedom works. When you get government out of the way, what happens? Well, you get 4% economic growth, which all the Obama economic advisors and the president then himself said wasn't possible. Of course, now Obama's trying to take credit for what he said wasn't possible. But
by the way, the guy
same time,
he kept telling us, you didn't build that, but now he's going to say he built that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, he was planning ahead. Yeah, I built all of it. But let's not. I don't want to over dump on Obama. His predecessor, George Bush, was a regulatory maniac.
Incredible.
And Clinton before him. Trump is very unique, certainly in our adult lifetimes, as actually shrinking the regulatory burden. And I have fun debating with Steve Moore, what's more important to the economy, the guaranteed shrinkage of the regulatory burden or the tax cuts? And that the difference is you can't quantify it, but I can argue with Steve and tease him all day long. But they're both critically important, and no one really believed. It was poo-pooed for years, and you've heard me say it for 8 years, really, about the pent-up entrepreneurial spirit in this country that the regulatory wet blanket was smothering. It goes all the way back to the beginning of the Obama administration. And as soon as I was elected Attorney General and took office in 2010 in Virginia, I was confronting it at the legal level, but saw the impacts. I mean, how many times have we heard businessmen say, well, gee, if I had to start my business today, I wouldn't do it. And what the Trump administration just reported on is reducing the annual regulatory burden by over $1 billion with a total value of over $23 billion per year. And in the same time period, the Obama administration increased the total regulatory burden by about $235 billion. That's $235 billion literally of just cinder blocks thrown in the backpack the economy had to carry around. There's literally nothing wealth creating, opportunity creating, or productive about adding new regulations.
But Ken, I mean, the regulatory do-gooders are saying, yeah, that's fine, Ken. You might be right about that. But what about all the good? The regulations are there to prevent bad things. But the frustration is no matter how many regulations you put in, there will always be a scenario where you say, well, that doesn't, well, we're going to need to fill that gap, or we need that loophole, so we need another law. It's never ending.
Well, look, when I left the Attorney General's office, I did what all AGs do. I helped start an oyster company, right? And in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, and we had to get licensed and permitted to know when we could pull oysters out of the water and so forth. Well, there are health and safety reasons for that. You get a bad oyster, you're going to have a bad day.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
may be your last day.
Yep.
Okay, so in that situation, when you have genuine health and safety consequences, I think basic regulation to protect against the downside makes sense. If you need to go get 500 hours of classes to open a barber shop, that is BS, right? And again, I know you and I have talked about this before. This occupational licensing is not licensing to protect anybody. It is, well, from health and safety. It's to protect people already doing hair cutting from people who want to do hair cutting. And who does that hurt the worst? As is always true with regulation, the people hurt first and worst are the poor.
Right. That's the
because
cronyism.
they have the least
That's not
ability
capitalism.
to respond.
Right. That's
exactly right.
That's who you're working. So yeah, occupational licensing always a problem. Beyond that, let me give you an example. So we started this little company here, Ken, and we had to get a bank account, and we have several partners involved. And a lot of the partners that threw in have other companies, so they have other companies that they put this under, their other LLCs or corporate licensing, whatever. To get a bank account with all of the pieces was a nightmare. Now, granted, the banker was a little off too, so that didn't help. But the amount of information they needed, and then kept coming back and going, well, you don't understand, since 9/11 and then some of these other rules and regulations to make sure it's not being used for terrorism because some people lived in other states, was a nightmare. We're a small company, Ken.
Yeah, people don't realize, like, the $10,000 limit, that's a Patriot Act thing to catch terrorist financing. You know how many they've caught? 0.
Go figure.
Wow. But it sure made my life fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, we had to do the same thing with the oyster company I used as my example, and look, it's much bigger than this as well. About half the regulatory savings the Trump administration reported has come in the Health and Human Services Department, and it's come from reducing burdens on healthcare options, including insurance and actual healthcare, because insurance is financing, it is not actual healthcare, something that often gets forgotten in this country. And the EPA, of course, has been driving hard to undo a lot of the supercilliness of the last administration. We're seeing that now with the discussion about just leaving the CAFE standards, the miles per gallon requirements on vehicles, the same for another 6 years after 2020. And you'd think that the EPA was like holding pistols to the head of infants to the left. They're going berserk. And yet this is literally going to save average Americans who want to buy a car over $6,000. That's for an actual American family. You know, that's real money. That's real money. It reminds me of the time I was testifying in front of the Judiciary Committee in the House, and at the time, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was on the Judiciary Committee, and she got the last question from me, and it was like machine gun style, staccato, practically yelling at me. And we were talking about Obamacare and about the $43 billion the federal government said is unfunded health care. And there is some large amount, people just walking in and not paying. And she asserted that costs $1,000 a family on everybody's health insurance, which is not an unreasonable guesstimate. And so she's, firing at me. Well, this $43 billion is a lot of money. You think it's a lot of money, don't you? Oh, yes, ma'am, it's a lot of money. Well, and if it's $1,000 a year for every American family buys health insurance, you think that's a lot? Oh, yes, ma'am, you're talking to somebody who thinks $1,000 is a lot of money. What would you do with another $1,000 a year? And I didn't miss a beat. I said I'd probably donate it to somebody running for Congress in Florida. And she was so mad. She was sputtering. And part of the reason she was so mad is all the Democrats that sit around her were hysterical. They were falling out of their chairs laughing at her over this. And she said, well, it probably wouldn't matter anyway. Because she knew I was talking about donating to her opponent.
Right.
And I said, yes, but it would be voluntary with no government compulsion. And I literally stood up, turned on my heel, said, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and walked out. It will never be matched as my greatest day on Capitol Hill.
Mic drop.
But that $1,000 is a very real cost. And what did they do? They introduced Obamacare, and they converted that $1,000 cost that had been spread across all our insurance into what, in just the first few years? An additional $2,500 cost. Hey, that worked great.
Yep.
And that's the typical course regulation takes us. They literally tried to solve a legitimate problem, like you said, Doc, the example. Well, we have this problem, we got to solve it. And they make it worse.
Well, Ken, let's
make it worse.
Let's talk about the solutions, because from my perspective, you want a broad set of rules and laws in place that do protect people from being victimized. And you have, first of all, you can sue as an individual if you believe you're wrong, and then we have a criminal justice system. But there has to be a case-by-case basis for this without, more and more rules and regulations and laws. There is some discretion when it comes to prosecution. Juries are supposed to have more power to, right? I mean, that's the key, the solution to all of this.
Yes. Yes, well, and Patrick Henry was vociferous about having those juries, and they are supposed to be really not just a judge in society, so you're being judged by your peers, but also an insulation against government, so that juries can nullify.
Yep. Are you there, Ken? Oh, I think we lost Ken.
Man.
Yeah, we're still up on this side.
He forgot to put another
And
quarter.
I mean, those are powers that are supposed to be built in to protect the American people. In the regulatory process at FreedomWorks at the Regulatory Action Center, we gather our members and we educate them about various goings-on in the regulatory world and HHS and EPA, Interior, and so forth. And even Department of Labor is finally coming up with a deregulatory action of usefulness. It's amazing how important it is who you pick as the secretary of the department for the level of energy that is brought to deregulatory efforts. But ordinary people can participate in this. There is a grassroots element to this, and the left, especially the environmentalists, has been doing it since the 70s. And the FreedomWorks Action Center, Regulatory Action Center, is the first time there's been a regular right-of-center effort to fight regulations across the board, not just the environmental stuff, but whether it's HHS, whether it's these CAFE standards, the so-called Clean Power Plan, net neutrality has been the most engaging effort for our members in the entire Trump administration, and what a battle that has been.
Amazing.
Yikes. And yet we're on top. We've come out on top, and lo and behold, the internet still works, amazingly enough, just like it always did. And, without the government and the censoring that comes from so-called net neutrality. One thing I love about names like net neutrality, it doesn't matter if Republicans are in charge or Democrats. If it says neutral and it's coming out of Washington, the one absolute thing you know about it is it ain't neutral.
Yep, that's right.
They're gonna pick winners and losers, and in their case, they're gonna pick it on content. They would use so-called net neutrality to censor speech based on who could access the internet more easily, and that was pushed back with literally tens of thousands of grassroots members and activists helping and participating and sending in their own comments. And we'd love your listeners to join us, freedomworks.org. It's easy to join up and join the team fighting this stuff. Help the 23 billion become 46 billion next year. The bigger that downward number becomes, the better off our economy is going to be, and the more freedom there will be in America.
As it turns out, freedom works. That's what we've learned.
Huh.
Ken,
So it does. So it does.
Ken, you guys do a great job. I really appreciate you joining us today. Do you still have that oyster business?
Still have that oyster business.
All right.
It took Mother Nature abused us badly the first year, froze the bay. Ouch, that hurt, and destroyed a lot of what we were doing. But we've hung in there, and we've got a couple of watermen, including the first water woman on Tangier Island, who are working along, plugging along smoothly, and we're selling every week about 5,000 to 10,000 oysters a week, and they are premier good stuff. Tangiers is what they're called, especially in the Richmond area. They're easiest to get, but you can get them up and down the East Coast. That's good stuff. And,
we on Black Friday
and an entire new industry on Tangier Island.
Oh, awesome. Well, on Black Friday, we're doing a Building America Marathon. We're just giving people free commercials. So if you want to call in on Black Friday and plug your business, we'll talk about it.
Oh, there we go.
All right, buddy.
Good plan.
Thanks, Ken.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you, guys. Keep pushing for freedom.
Ken Cuccinelli, Director of Regulatory Action Center at FreedomWorks. Go to freedomworks.org. You want more information. The Cooch. Always love talking to the Cooch. Love the Cooch.
By the way, just as I just wanted to point out, after following that interview up on the Louis C.K. story, within the interview, shrinkage, tease, blowing up, poo-pooed, pent up, wet blanket, driving hard, pushing for freedom.
This is a late bell. We had a guess.
Just thought I would. Yes, I just thought I'd point that out.
Ken's from Northern Virginia, which, if you're not familiar with the area, there's kind of a dividing line about an hour south of D.C. South of that's Spotsylvania County right there. Right. If you go south of there, it becomes pretty red. outside of like the urban center of like Richmond or right in Charlottesville, stuff like that. But north of that, it's all crazy. I mean, extreme, bright, glowing, bat-S crazy blue.
Electric blue.
Ken was a state senator from that area. Not just a conservative, but a libertarian, staunch, leave me alone, Second Amendment defending. And it was incredible that he got elected. So I first met him when he was speechifying, I think at a pro-gun event. And I was like, this guy's a state senator from Northern Virginia and is talking like that? Amazing. And he went on to be attorney general. Ken's awesome.
It's interesting guy.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
interesting guy.
Ken's pretty cool.
Yes.
WeThePeople.dating is a site that you can avoid all of those crazy Northern Virginia types if you're looking to date. Because if you got the dating site, you're going to have to go through and fill out all that stuff. And some of them, that they do say, what are your political ideas? And they'll talk about that. But they really don't focus on that. And for me, I will go no farther. I'm out. There are certain deal killers out there. When I met my wife, I said, oh, you don't smoke? Good. Smoking for me at this point is a deal killer. I can't be around it. It just kills me.
Only when she's on fire.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I said, that's a deal killer. But above and beyond all else is if you are on the left, I just can't deal with it. I'm not saying you're a bad person or whatever. My life would be hell. I have this friend. Oh, my gosh. One of my best friends in the world. He is a young man of the age of young 30s. He has been dating a woman who is crazy liberal. And he is not only on the right, he is really close to being an anarchist.
Right.
I mean, this guy, he is not politically correct. He only works for himself for this reason. He's a little bit shady.
Right.
I mean, like, as far as like out there, beating the streets, trying to find angles on stuff. And he meets her. Oh, she did not care for me.
I can't.
Did not care for me when we went to dinner.
Can't imagine their dirty talk.
Right. So let me tell you a scenario about how it happened. So a couple of weeks ago, he sends me a video that it wasn't clear enough. I was going to play the audio on the air, but it wasn't clear enough.
Right.
He lives just a few blocks over from the Capitol. So he's walking with her late one night during the Kavanaugh hearings, and it's like 11:30, midnight, and they're out there speechifying on the street about Kavanaugh.
Wow.
And Nancy Pelosi, she's out there.
Oh, my.
Right. And he sends me this video of her doing the Aunt Clara stuttering and stammering all over the place.
Always entertaining.
Yeah. He also tells me, just to show you their relationship, he goes, on the megaphone, somebody goes, the pizza has arrived. If you're a volunteer and you're going to be out here all night, just go over to the tent because the pizza has arrived. And he went, do. And she goes, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to get some pizza. She goes, that pizza is not intended for you. And he goes, I think it's intended for me.
That's right.
So they got into this little whatever back and forth. Ultimately, he didn't take the pizza because he was trying to get some other good stuff later.
I was going to say, yeah.
But this is his. And I go, you got to take the pizza.
Yes.
That is the best pizza, even hot and ready. That would be the best pizza you ever had. Why? Because it's liberal tears pizza.
Forbidden pizza.
It's forbidden pizza.
Yes.
Right? You got it. I go, man, had you and I been out there, what would have happened? We would have been over there getting some pizza.
Yes, exactly.
So I can't be around someone who's going to stop me from eating liberal pizza.
No.
I got to be out there.
You need somebody who...
I don't know how he does it. I don't.
Well, I know why he does it.
Well, I mean, she is attractive, so there's that.
Uh-huh.
She was so offended. Oh, I don't know if I can say who it is. I can't. Okay, I'll give you...
I came face to face with a rat that had ruined my life.
Is that Ron? Is that...
I don't know.
I don't know where that came from. That wasn't me. Okay. Anyway. She, his significant other, has a relative who was a member of a one-hit wonders band.
Okay.
In the 70s or 80s. I'm trying to keep it as broad as I can.
I remember this now, yeah.
And she says to me, he goes, oh, yeah, her such and such relative male was a member or whatever. And I went, boom. And I just busted out the title of the song.
Right.
And she just looks at me. And I go, that one-hit wonder. That was their big hit. It's an awesome. I love the song. You know the song. Love it.
Yep.
And she goes, and she got all offended that I said one-hit wonder. Well, the fact is, I mean, they may be awesome, whatever. One song. That's all they had. But wildly butthurt that I said this. And I was like, okay, there's sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right.
The point of it is,
I couldn't be around this nonsense.
Right.
I could not do it. If you can, God bless you. I could not. And that's the reason we got together with WeThePeople.Dating. They're drawing from millions and millions of people who have signed up and whittled them down into the people that are libertarian-minded, that believe in liberty and freedom, like-minded people. Go to WeThePeople.Dating and sign up for an account today and hopefully find your liberty-loving match at WeThePeople.Dating.
Eric Butler over on Twitter. Louis C.K. offered to shave Sarah Silverman's back so he could have an audience. The one story, the one throwaway story. Black Suit Larky Farkin was Ken talking about masturbation or deregulation. That's all.
They kind of go together. They
really do. You know,
they kind of go hand in hand.
Yes, they do. To which Eric wrote, if you ring the bell, Doc, Ken won't mind. He'll think you're celebrating deregulation. Yes, there were so many opportunities in there. Let's see. Oh, no, that's a Beto O'Rourke one. Hey there, make prawn. They make porn vids about guys getting to do this thing in front of hot women. So why is the Louis C.K. thing a story at all?
Well, and then the hypocrisy of somebody like Sarah Silverman, who says it was fantastic, it was amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, he still asked you, in today's world, the Brett Kavanaugh, Me Too, all of that nonsense, him asking you about that, any of that stuff, is crossing the line.
It's, nothing, libertarian, nothing Louis C.K. did was illegal. He always asked for consent and stop if told to. I hate defending him, but I must. I know, I feel the same way when I have to defend
Sarah Silverman. It's a shame because Sarah Silverman is so close to getting it. Now, you may look in total at what she does and says, but I'm telling you, she's this close to getting it. She's going to get it good when she does. I'm sorry, I got off the track there. I went in a completely different direction. She's going to get it good.
Yeah. Roy and O'Brien.
No, she's so close to understanding. If you listen to some of the things that she's spoken about on stage, some of the things she's written, she cannot get her head around some of the things that we believe because she comes from a completely different place. She grew up in the New York area and doesn't, she doesn't understand why people put the flag out. She said she doesn't understand that. Yet she gets the non-political correct stuff, except she's got that little liberal bit of bias in her that's been learned. So she says, I don't believe in, I'm sure she'd say something, I don't believe in political correctness, but much like other people on the left, but it has to start from a different place where it starts with the rest of us. I believe in free speech. It's absolute.
We've lost our ability to laugh at ourselves, and especially other people.
Seriously, free speech in my mind is absolute. I've told you, I don't buy into the you can't yell fire in a crowded theater argument because we have laws that would make you that you would be liable
for injuries.
Injury.
Yeah.
So you can even say that. So it is absolute. They start with absolutely, I believe in free speech. There's just certain things you can't say.
And you can't have it both ways like that. You
so
really
close
can't.
to getting it and getting it good.
She is the type. She is an example of date.
She would frustrate the hell out of me.
Don't marry. Date, don't marry. And while you were dating her, you'd have to constantly say, shh, don't ruin the moment by talking.
Right.
Just shh, sit there, just watch. That's all you'd have to do the entire time. That's all. Let's see here. What else we got? Kieran, since Silver, Jesus, this Louis C.K. story won't go away. Since Silverman let C.K. choke the.
No.
Does that make it a meh too moment?
Meh too.
Yeah, too. That's good.
All right. Whether I want it or not, they're going to keep coming.
Yes.
So.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Gang members and criminals. The Department of Homeland Security says they're mixed in among the 7,000 illegal immigrants still marching north through Mexico, intent on breaking into the U.S. President Trump asked whether Middle East terrorists might also be in the mix.
They could very well be.
But there's no proof.
There's no proof of anything. There's no proof of anything. But they could very well be.
The president, accused by certain media outlets of using the caravan to stoke fear among voters, says that's not the case, adding that Americans know that.
I'm a very non-political person, and that's why I got elected president.
Mr. Trump threatening to deploy the military to seal the border if Mexico fails to halt the northward trek of the more than 7,000 illegal immigrants. The United States is revoking the visas of some Saudi officials implicated in the killing of Saudi columnist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Secretary of State Pompeo says that Washington is committed to seeing that justice is done.
The State Department will continue to seek all relevant facts, consult with Congress, and work with other nations and work to hold accountable those responsible for the killing of Jamal Khashoggi.
President Trump criticizing the kingdom over Khashoggi's death, saying the cover-up was horrible, the execution was horrible. Health care, one of the issues debated last evening as the candidates for Georgia governor faced off in their first debate. Democrat Stacey Abrams repeatedly emphasizing her plan to expand Medicaid in Georgia. Republican Brian Kemp accusing Abrams of seeking a government takeover of health care, saying that she would hike taxes to pay for it. For the first time, Target planning to offer 2-day shipping with no minimum purchase for the holidays, raising the stakes in the delivery wars during the busiest shopping season of the year. Wall Street Dow futures down 76 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
The Conservative Cartel.
We're being invaded. I don't doubt that some liberal left groups got some money behind this. I can't come out here and claim it is, but I've got a pretty good idea of what actually is going on this deal. I wouldn't doubt if Soros was behind it or some of his money. But here's the thing that I think is interesting. As I covered that story, I'm thinking to myself, you know, why? Because I don't believe this is coordinated with the left. Democratic leaders are urging their party's 2018 candidates to ignore migration issues, even as the fast-growing caravan of migrants walks northward through Mexico, by the way. What's Mexico doing? These are peaceful people, Ron, as they tear the fences down in southern Mexico. They're throwing their kids in the damn river, where they've got migrants down below in rafts and boats going across the river. And Mexico isn't doing a damn thing about it. They're not stupid. This caravan is heading to the United States.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for, you know, from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Mothership has landed.
Oh, sure. You were willing to give that Donald Trump a pass for saying and joking and bragging in locker room style with Billy Bush that he grabbed women by the hoo-ha. You gave him a pass. You laughed. And now we are feeling the effects of that conversation with Billy Bush. We are feeling the effects of that, Brad Staggs.
You mean as a country, as a
country, as well as individuals, we are doing that. A man.
All right.
Name of Bruce Michael Alexander was on an airline flight recently. He allegedly groped a woman and told authorities that, quote, the president of the United States says it's okay to grab a woman by their private parts. There you go, Brad.
Technically, he never said it was okay.
He said it in his actions and his inactions, Brad.
And in his inactions, he said, okay.
In his actions and his inactions.
I don't think
his actions of saying, I just grab them by that. They love it. I can do whatever the hell I want. That's what he said.
Yes.
And then his inactions by not standing up and putting on that pink hat, marching with those women.
He never really technically said it's okay to do. He mentioned it as a guy, years, over a decade ago, but he never really said it was okay.
He certainly sounded like it was okay.
I mean, there are people who do think it's okay, but I don't. If we're going to be accurate here, but
complaint was filed a couple of days ago. The woman said that Alexander made abusive sexual contact with her on a Southwest flight.
Is there any other kind?
From Texas to New Mexico. Not Old Mexico. That would have been much worse.
Right.
The New Mexico.
Yes. Old Mexico's so dirty.
It is. Dirty. Very dirty. She said that he touched her breasts without her permission. She said he was sitting in the row behind her and touching her. No less than 3 times. She said a hand reached between the seats. She said the hand, she can identify it. She knows it was his because it had thick fingers. They were hairy, thick fingers, and they had dirty fingernails.
Wow. I think that's the same hand that what's her name? The
Sarah
singer.
Silverman?
No, not Sarah Silverman.
In my mind, I imagine Louis C.K. having thick, hairy, dirty fingernails. Sarah, look at this. Sorry, the singer.
I can't get over the reach around from the seat. There.
Yeah, he just reached up there and grabbed her breast. The thick, hairy.
Not your standard reach.
Right. Who's the singer you're talking about?
Oh, what's her name? She does the Beer on Tuesday, the Tuesday Night Music Club. Sheryl Crow.
Oh, that she has thick, hairy fingers?
No, that the guy sitting at the bar next to her let the match burn down to his thick fingers.
Oh,
what if
I
it's
thought,
the same guy?
Although based on her 1 square of toilet tissue, I can imagine her having dirty fingernails. That was her thing. Only
Yeah,
it was
that's right. 1 square.
I don't know about the hairy part, but she said the first incident occurred early in the flight. She said she had fallen asleep. She felt her clothes move. She said in the touching of fingers on her right side at around her bra line. She said approximately 30 minutes later, she again felt Alexander grab her back of her arm before slowly groping the right side of her breast, so the first one was bra area. The second one was side boob.
Well, technically, unless
you know side boob, right?
yes,
on all the TV shows, the side boob.
Yes. I mean, did she not say anything the first time the thick, hairy, dirty hand came around and touched?
She said, I think that she had mentioned it to the stewardess. I don't know what their reaction was, but she's
I don't know.
suing.
I'm just thinking you turn around at some point and go, hey, knock it off.
You could also stand up and just punch him in the balls.
Yes. That is, in that situation,
Ladies,
perfectly acceptable.
Let me help you out here. See, there have been some tried and true methods that when people assault you like this and you don't want it, that work. They're proven.
Yes.
You just punch a guy really hard right there.
Yeah.
It's going to end.
It works.
It does. It is a very effective tool
Unless
to
he's a
fight off.
eunuch. If you discover at that point he's a eunuch, you have bigger problems.
Yeah,
But
that's he's probably not doing that if he's a eunuch.
That's true.
Whatever, but it was.
Yes, I mean that's perfectly acceptable to do. Why wouldn't you? I mean, instead you tell the stewardess, what's she gonna do?
I don't understand these. Listen, if you're a lady and you're walking down, or a man, you're walking down the street, somebody grabs you, throws you down, and rapes you. If you're whatever, those are all horrible. Yes, and at times many people have been raped, sexually assaulted in a situation where they could not get out of it. Right. These things happen. I get that. But for a lot of these #MeToo moment ones that we hear about, I do not understand any of the comments at work or the like this. He groped her on a plane. I just come from a world of women who would not have tolerated any of that.
They would yell, and as soon as you yell at this guy,
they would kick your ass.
Yes. Yeah.
I told you my sister Dana who beat up the bully, the neighborhood bully.
Right.
My sister Dana had a standard line with me. She doesn't like practical jokes. She has a good sense of humor.
Hated you.
Yes, that's what I'm her younger brother by 4 years. So when she's in high school, I'm in junior high school. Oh my gosh.
She hated
a young Doc Thompson at junior high school, loving the practical jokes, and she does not like them.
Yeah.
And she had this stern look. She's like, I don't like those kind of jokes. And beat the snot out of me on a regular basis for these things.
Yep.
They don't play. I've seen my sisters punch guys in bars for messing with them.
And it's a very
effective tool.
Yes. Yes, it is.
My brother would know. He's in a bar, except in the extreme cases where the guy came back. My sisters didn't need an escort. They didn't need that.
Right.
My mom, they didn't tolerate this. I had an aunt who punched out a guy who tried to carjack her.
This is explaining so
Folks,
much about you.
My dad's aunt, his Aunt Gladys, she was a real happy butt. Loved her. She was amazing. She lived in Sandusky, Ohio, originally for West by God, Virginia. Fantastic woman. This would have been circa 1975. Picture it. 1975, Sandusky, Ohio. Aunt Gladys driving an automobile that was not running properly. And often it would die when she came to a traffic light or a stop sign or something. During one such of these occasions, a gentleman hopped in the passenger side of her car in an attempt to carjack her.
Oh, I bet that was a mistake on his part.
She punched the guy out. And I don't mean she knocked him out.
Which is hard to do. That must have been a left hook.
Oh yeah, because she's coming around like this. She knocked him out.
Wow.
Opened the door and kicked him out of the side passenger. She leaned over, opened the door across his lifeless body, and kicked him out. And the cop was parked on the other side, the left side at the intersection, which she didn't see. He saw this go down. So as soon as he saw the guy get in, he started walking over and he goes, ma'am, I was going to come over here and help you out, but I see you got the situation under control. I'll take it from here. That's what he said.
It was a simpler time, wasn't it?
She grew up in the hills of West Virginia. She was fighting bears, for Pete's sake. This is what you two can do, women. You don't need me too to cry and sob with other women. You need to stand up for yourself in most of these cases. Yes, there are times that will be more difficult if somebody pulls a gun on you or whatever. That's fine. But a lot of these can go away if you just stand up for yourself.
And you said she's suing, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit of money would help this make this go away, is what I think she's saying.
Yes, $250,000.
That's all?
I think that's what she's.
Wow.
Wait a minute. That might be what he's facing. So she's suing.
She needs a new attorney if that's
Let me
all
make
she's
sure.
for.
She made a complaint, so she wants him arrested. But yes, I believe she is suing as well. So yeah, I mean, if your life has been upended, ruined because of sexual assault, there is nothing that makes that feel better than getting a big cash settlement.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And with J.G. Wentworth, you can have that in one lump sum.
Exactly. Just give us a call. Give us a call.
I don't understand that. Yes, everybody's different. There's going to be some that are people that are more frail. Men, women, there's going to be some that are more aggressive. But the baseline of women that I know, they don't take no crap. I mean, nice, affable, joke or whatever, but there is a line which you must not cross. And if you do, you are going to meet physical resistance.
Well, and I've got to, the more you think about this, the more this may have a couple of Bravo Sierra moments in it. Number one, if he is sitting behind her and there are other people, I'm assuming on the plane, they can't possibly be the only two. Wouldn't you say, especially if it's
the
on
only two
right side of her right side, especially if they're on the aisle, that would be visible to anyone there, as he reaches around and attempts to.
Not unless he did it slow. And he had camouflage.
Right. If he was invisible, let's say he was wearing the cloak of invisibility on his arm, then it would be a far more. Now, I have to give her the benefit of the doubt in that case. If he did, in fact, have the cloak of invisibility turned on,
Your
then
Honor,
it would be more difficult.
Likely he was wearing the cloak of invisibility. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So in that case, yes, that would be very difficult.
Let's say it's like the NFL, right? If you're a lineman, you wear gloves that are the color of the other guy's jersey.
Okay,
so maybe he put on his blue gloves.
But then how would she have known that he had fat, hairy, dirty fingers?
Good point.
Unless they were invisible gloves.
Right,
But
in
then
which
that
case
didn't
that
do any
ruins
good.
the...
Yes, unless he'd really, in truth, had skinny, clean fingers and he put on the fat,
She
dirty...
had a black shirt on.
That would...
Hairy and dirt under the knuckles. Virtually invisible.
Okay. All right, now that's
I'm thinking he normally wouldn't even have hairy, dirty hands. He just did that for the invisibility factor, the
could have been.
camouflage.
It actually could have been true. And how many people with dirty, hairy fingers have the money to fly? I mean, come on. When was the last time you saw someone get on a plane with fat, dirty, hairy fingers?
You mean other than me?
Yes,
it's been
other
a
than
long
you.
time.
Yeah.
Long time since I've seen anybody.
So what you're saying is you are a suspect in this case.
I haven't flown Southwest recently, so I wouldn't be. But, I imagine there's going to have to be a lineup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there have to be show your hands.
I mean, the police show up. I mean, that is really the only evidence she has.
Yeah.
Right? It's like an eyewitness.
Yeah, she doesn't say she turned around and saw his face.
I imagine the police sketch artist comes by. Can you describe the hands to me? He's,
a little fatter, a little shorter than that, a little fatter.
More hair, more dirt.
Yeah.
Can you describe the dirt? That type of thing.
Greasy dirt.
When was it the thick band of dirt or just a little line of dirt there underneath of it, type of thing.
Checking my
And then they bring the people in. Number one, hold up your hands, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's not him. Nah, it's number 3.
That's the one.
Yep, those are the fingers.
That's the son of a... Now, if you're that guy, you're hoping that they'll say, well, we're going to need a reenactment.
Yeah, you're going to have to. She's going to have to sit in a chair in front of him while he does the reach around just to see.
Is that about it? Does that feel like he could have done this? And then they'll have to. Could he have reached that far with his short hands?
Right,
and stubby fingers.
At that point, if the glove doesn't fit,
because let's say somebody calls and leaves you harassing messages, or calls up and harasses you over and over again. They'll often say, number 3, read this line. Oh, baby, I want to do what Louis C.K. did in front of Sarah Sullivan. Read it. Now read it deeper, right?
That'd be Sarah Silverman.
Sorry, Silver Sarahman.
Sarah Sullivan is completely different. Just
we screw that up.
By the way, and I do kind of lay this at the feet of the airline. This is their fault. I mean...
Why?
If there had been any in-flight entertainment whatsoever, the guy would not have been bored and been tempted to reach around to the passenger in front of him and grope her. This is the airline's fault. This is at the feet of Southwest Airlines. They are responsible for the groping of this poor innocent woman.
I'd say culpable.
Absolutely.
I'll give you and more comfortable seats. What would have happened?
No, yeah, exactly.
You go, oh my gosh, I was thinking about grabbing this woman's breasticle, but I'm just the seat is so luxurious.
I'm just take a nap.
Is this Corinthian leather on the seats?
Fine Corinthian leather.
Wow, this
no
is...
snacks. There was nothing to eat. There was nothing to watch. They're uncomfortable
You're telling
seats.
me if he had his hands full, he would not have been able to grope her?
Yes, exactly. I mean, you try to grope somebody with full hands. It's awkward at best.
How about this? What if the airline had offered up people to be groped? Right?
Now you get into an attractive nuisance.
What do you mean?
That's like leaving a ladder, at your house, leaned up against your. If you leave a ladder against your house,
right,
and someone climbs it and then gets hurt, they can sue you. No joke. For having an attractive nuisance. This would be the same thing.
No, this would be somebody hired by the airline. It would be their job to be the designated gropee.
Okay,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, you have fluffers and stuff, and
that's true.
I imagine if you want to be groped, you could have a designated groper on airlines or whatever too. But I would think a lot of people would prefer to do the groping.
I
would say that's probably.
I think it probably takes some of the excitement out for the groper. I think some of the excitement is gone when you can't rape the willing.
No, I mean, is she hot? I mean, so you'd be like, bing, you hit the little bell, bing, and the stewardess comes by, and yes, I'm still calling him a stewardess, so shut up. Bing. Yes, can I? Yes, I'm thinking about ordering something. Maybe the ham sandwich. I could see the upcharge and a couple of those little shot glasses of tequila, those little bottles. Yeah, two of those.
We can get that.
And can you bring the gropey over?
Do you prefer the blonde or the brunette? And excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't ask male or female.
Female.
Okay,
Thank you for not assuming.
I didn't want to assume anything in this.
Do you have anybody Asian?
I think we have one Asian left. Yeah, I'll have to check. Okay. There was a man up in first class that was looking for an Asian. I think he settled for the blonde. So I think we do have one. I'll go and see if I can get her for you. You just wait here.
Seems like an inopportune time to mention a client at this point, but what the hell?
They paid for it.
PatriotMobile.com/Doc is waiting for you to sign up today if you have not signed up already. In fact, a buddy of mine called me yesterday and said, "Hey, what's that company with the cell phone?" Seriously, this one is not. I get the nostalgia you can't spell.
They hear the details of every Sarah Silverman, Louis C.K. story, but they can't remember this.
Right, that's it. It's like it's Patriot Mobile, like Patriots, like Liberty. Did you say Liberty phones? What? Patriot Mobile.
Maybe if they renamed themselves Hairy, Fat, Dirty Fingers Mobile.
They'd be like, oh, got it. Yes. Boom, done. Let me tweet about it and text about it.
Yeah.
Patriot Mobile, I need to ask a favor. Aside from supporting our clients and Patriot Mobile offering an amazing service, I need you to do me a favor and get rid of your AT&T accounts because I hate them.
With passion.
I would rather only be able to eat hot and ready pizza for the rest of my life than ever do business with AT&T.
Would you rather be groped by fat, hairy, dirty fingers from behind?
Every flight I ever take in the future.
Okay. All right.
And they could be the fat, hairy, dirty fingers of like Rose McGowan. It could be
Michael Moore.
It could be Michael Moore. I'd be fine with that. This is how much I hate AT&T.
And you still wouldn't feel as dirty.
No, I would feel than doing 5 minutes of business with those a-holes. AT&T is quite simply, in my opinion, the worst company that has ever existed in America. This included people who manufactured things for the systematic extermination of Jews. I hate AT&T that much.
Wow.
I cannot oversell it.
Wow.
Seriously, I am not kidding. I had conversations with them over and over and over again, how they screwed me over and over, even out of $150. And then they have the audacity to send me little things in the mail now, 6 years later, going, switch over to AT&T and we'll send you a $400 gift card.
We want you back. We miss you.
And I had no other option when I signed up for them because the area I was in, I had to have high-speed internet at the house for work, and they were the only option in the neighborhood. And even though I told them I didn't need them to come out and set the thing up for me, and they're like, it's a $100 charge. No, I got it. Well, it's going to be $150 if you screw it up and we have to come out. Okay. I set it up perfectly. Doesn't work. Have to call them out. Guy comes out and he goes, oh, yeah, this isn't your fault. It's ours. It's outside. Oh, okay, great. Can you make a note of that? Making a note of it in your file, Mr. Thompson. Good to go. Next month, $150 charge.
Wow.
Excuse me, AT&T. Oh, yeah, we had to come out. It wasn't my fault. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to talk to a manager. Okay. Same story. Sorry. I'm going to need to talk to your manager. I talked to 5 different managers, supposedly. I emailed and everything else. AT&T, I promise to take, this is my solemn vow to you, millions of dollars of negative publicity out of your ass for as long as I live. I will not feel my life and my career is complete until I stand over the dead, bloated corpse of AT&T.
The caravan will stop to have a little service for them.
No. I just want the pictures. I want proof. No burial at sea in the middle of the night. I want to see them suffer. This is how much I hate AT&T.
Wow.
I keep everything they send me, the junk mail. By the way, using your tax dollars, the U.S. Mail as an advertising platform to junk up your mailbox with a bunch of advertisements. I keep every one. I have a file of them to show the now hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in stationery, envelopes, stamps, and all of this that they have wasted in sending me. Yet they couldn't simply refund the $150.
It's about principle.
It is
principle, Doc.
So, if you would, help me, help you by killing AT&T. People think I'm joking about this. I really hate them this much. Ron and I were talking about it, and Matt from the Conservative Cartel yesterday, when I find out about the merger with Time Warner, which I don't love to begin with. Time Warner is not like I'm like, woo, Time Warner is such a great company. And then Time Warner, the parent company of CNN, to name one. You know how much I love CNN.
Oh, yeah.
This is a match made in hell.
Spawn of Satan.
Seriously, and it's developing in front of us.
We're watching it happen.
Wow.
The birthing process.
This is like the Yellowstone volcano getting ready to erupt. And as it does, it throws nuclear weapons into the air that fire off electromagnetic pulses as well.
Wow. That's a vision right there. That is a vision.
Love them. So you can do a simple thing to help me out by signing up for a Patriot Mobile account. Fantastic company, a company with probably the best customer service you can get. If you go to AT&T, look up online, companies with worst customer service. AT&T is always on the list. It's usually one of the top ones. Because they don't listen, because they don't give a flying fig. Patriot Mobile, on the other hand, absolutely cares about you. Amazing customer service because their values are two things. They are capitalists. They're trying to make money, like a lot of companies.
Right.
But they are based on solid libertarian and conservative principles. Do the right thing, personal freedom, Constitution, capitalism. This is who they are. So anytime you sign up for an account, a little bit of the profits that they take in goes to fund organizations, services, companies, candidates, things that you support as well. So sign up today, patriotmobile.com/doc or 800-A-PATRIOT. And it's not just that Patriot Mobile, is solid on those principles. If it was a horrible service, I'd say, well, at least they're doing some good. But they have great coverage and great deals.
That's Shirley over on Facebook wants to know how much it costs and how's the coverage outside of cities.
Coverage is awesome. In fact, the coverage for the major companies right now is negligible. It really is.
They've built it up.
Yeah, the difference. Right. Yeah. Look it up online. Get all the information at patriotmobile.com/doc. Shirley, there's different plans, so I can't give you one price. But Matt Locke even said to me, yeah, but they don't have unlimited packages. And I said, no, they do. Matt, and he knows Patriot Mobile. He just didn't realize that they had rolled that out. Yeah, look it up. They have unlimited packages.
They have this amazing website that has all of the information that you need.
PatriotMobile.com/doc or 800-A-PATRIOT. Sign up today. Trust me, you will be happy you did.
And yeah, Marie over on Facebook, you're right. Doc hates AT&T almost as much as he hates that effing dog.
Oh, I would rather have that effing dog. I would rather my wife go, good news. We use the little electric paddles and he's back. I would rather have that news today than do business for even a half hour with AT&T.
TJ Thompson.
My frustration when I dealt with them.
Someday you'll have to retell the, he says, I think the jackals need to be reminded of the reason for the AT&T hatred. I love Angry Doc stories.
Oh my gosh, I hate them.
Yes, yes.
A MoJo for every state. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, Matt Locke, the Conservative Cartel. I'd like to take a minute and tell you about a new weight loss product that's instantly becoming part of the MoJo 50 family. It was launched by a Dallas area company who had taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. A 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened, and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. One Ridge's Own client, Sarah, recently lost over 100 pounds. While she looks amazing, she has been struggling every day with cravings. Now that she's taking Ridge's Own, She says it's so much easier to control her appetite and she's not thinking about food all day. Riduzone contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com, riduzone.com, and enter the code MATT, M-A-T-T. That's Riduzone, riduzone.com.
The Conservative Cartel.
We're being invaded. I don't doubt that some liberal left groups got some money behind this. I can't come out here and claim it is, but I've got a pretty good idea of what actually is going on this deal. I wouldn't doubt if Soros was behind it or some of his money. But here's the thing that I think is interesting. As I covered that story, I'm thinking to myself, you know, why? Because I don't believe this is coordinated with the left. Democratic leaders are urging their party's 2018 candidates to ignore migration issues, even as the fast-growing caravan of migrants walks northward through Mexico, by the way. What's Mexico doing? These are peaceful people, Ron, as they tear the fences down in southern Mexico. They're throwing their kids in the damn river, where they've got migrants down below in rafts and boats going across the river. And Mexico isn't doing a damn thing about it. They're not stupid. This caravan is heading to the United States.
All right, let's move on from my hatred of AT&T, which is difficult to do, but I'm just going to put it behind me, and I'm going to tell you how much I hate government.
Just as entertaining.
Let me think who I hate more. The fact that AT&T is even on that plateau, because I hate government so damn much.
Now they do some valuable.
Very little, but yes. Well, but government is so broad. I mean, you're talking, their damage is much more broad and extensive than AT&T. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to government.
Okay.
But they clean up their act just a little bit. Trump gets rid of a few more regulations. AT&T, you're in the on-deck circle, baby. You are the heir apparent to the king of my hatred, eclipsed only by government in general as a whole. Governments. There's nothing that says whole like government.
They put the hoe in hole.
The Air Force has cargo planes that have coffee cups that can plug into outlets to reheat or heat liquids.
I was going to ask you if they were styrofoam or ceramic, but that's obviously their.
They have some sort of heating element. The handle is plastic. I'm not that familiar with them except for the details of a story I saw. The cups have a faulty plastic handle that easily breaks.
That's not good.
No.
Not good, especially if they're full of hot coffee.
Right. Replacement parts for the cups are no longer available because the cargo planes we're talking about are very old. So they have to, if they want to replace these cups, order new cups. And they're not easily manufactured at this point. So the Air Force has had to replace the broken ones, and it's only costing them $1,300 per cup. We call this the AT&T cup.
Yes.
I think that's who's selling them the cups. Listen, guys, we're not even in the coffee cup business, but we're so horrible, we'll charge them $1,300 a cup.
I'll make you a coffee cup for $1,300.
I'll make you one for $12.99. Actually, these were $12.80 a piece. I oversold it. I rounded up.
You lying liar. They're not $1,300 coffee cups.
$1,280 per cup. Now, granted, it's not just your average cup, but still, $1,200 a piece seems a bit pricey for a coffee cup.
It does. I'm not sure I'd want to pay that much for a coffee cup.
This year alone, the Air Force bought 25 replacement cups for a total of roughly $32,000.
I don't know. I'm thinking they might be able to come up with an entirely different system of maybe heating the coffee for that kind of money. I mean, you'd think that the entire
styrofoam
system, maybe thermos, a thermos with a nipple on it. I mean, if you are concerned about it spilling, I understand that. You've got a
thermos.
Put
done.
Nipple on a thermos.
I mean, right. I mean, you could use the best of 1920s technology. It's called a thermos.
Keeps hot things hot. cold things cold.
Oh my gosh, this works both ways.
They still don't know how it knows.
Because these coffee cups do not cool things.
See, that's for $1,280. What do you want? Come on.
Wow.
You can't get it all.
$32,000. This is so ridiculous. This is such a waste of money in the military that the people who came up with the F-35s are like, damn. You spent what?
We got the 18.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, we got it by volume, but it's per piece?
And people, this is the same branch of the same government that spends $700 on a hammer.
Right.
And this is why people get so pissed off about their taxes and the fact that we're how many gazillion trillion dollars in debt.
$22 trillion.
And stories like this just...
Chuck Grassley wrote to the Air Force Secretary Heather Wilson and questioned the wisdom of spending almost $1,300 per coffee cup.
Wow.
Wilson says that in response to this, she has created a new Air Force Rapid Sustainment Office.
Oh, good. There's a new office in government that's
nothing saves money like creating new parts of the government.
Yes, that will solve a myriad of ills.
I'm guessing that if she cleans up this $32,000 to $56,000 per year that they are spending on these replacement coffee mugs, that they will spend far more than that on the new Rapid Sustainment Office.
Well, and once they fix that problem, they'll just close that office down.
No, they'll just try to rapidly sustain other things.
This is...
So she offered that. I mean, it's, mind you, this is not a blue ribbon committee.
Right.
Nor is it some sort of action.
Right.
None of this is a, because you have the task forces.
Right.
It's not a task force.
No.
It's a sustainment office.
Right.
And a rapid one at that. She's going to rapidly sustain.
Yeah. So it's this rapid sustain. How did they even come up with that?
I have no idea.
Rapid.
But they have already done some good.
Okay.
As soon as you put this into place, they found out that they can just 3D print the replacement parts for about 50 cents a cup.
Okay. Well, that is good news. That's good news.
50 cents. They've been spending $1,280.
And it took a
50 cents.
A new office of government to figure this out.
Right.
I mean, they couldn't have just figured that out without the Office of Rapid Sustainment.
Does $1,300 sound a bit pricey for a coffee cup to you?
At first glance, you look at it and you think, wow, that's a really good coffee cup. And I mean, they're flying a plane. You don't want some chintzy coffee cup that could spill in their lap. So if that's what it takes, and then you start digging deeper into it, and maybe it's a little high.
If that sounds high to you and you're in the market for coffee cups, well, I've got some a little bit cheaper at MoJo50.com. You can get beautifully logoed MoJo50.com coffee cups that
Not for $1,280.
No.
Not for $1,000.
No.
$750.
That'd be a bargain at $750.
$500.
No, you'd be shocked. You can get several. Listen, if you buy a coffee cup for $500, I'll throw in like 100 more.
Whoa.
Yeah, something.
You are determined to put us out of business.
Yeah. What's the price point on those? Like $19.
Let's see. How much
so maybe you don't get 100 more.
Hey, Ron,
maybe you get
how much
30
are the
more.
coffee cups? How much
$20, same as downtown.
Sorry, fellas, I'm working on a new U.S. military coffee mug as we speak.
What's the price point roughly? $20?
About 12 or 14, I think.
Whoa!
12 or 14. Holy moly.
Hold on.
Well,
Ron, did you just say 16 or 18?
I think he did. I think it's 25, 26.
Maybe. You've got an 11-ounce mug and a 15-ounce mug, so it's two prices here.
Easily double that.
That's amazing. So, okay.
Crazy. No one.
So, if you're in the market, Ron said it, $12 to $14, unless you're, a member of the, well, not a member of the, unless you're running the Air Force. And then we'll sell them to the Air Force for, I mean, there's got to be the extra military expense of getting them there.
The research fee.
So they're like $1,100.
The security
cup,
clearance.
That's what it is.
You know how hard it is to get a ceramic mug passed through the security clearance.
Yeah, just members of the Air Force. No, that doesn't apply. But if you're buying on behalf of the Air Force, then there's a bit of an upcharge for you.
Yes, like
because
a small upcharge.
Willing to pay it.
Well, it's worth it to keep the liquid secure within the airplane. I mean, if you don't want, again, you don't want to not only not spill the coffee in the pilot's lap, but that expensive control panel, that gets real expensive.
One of the saddest things is we've come to just expect this.
That's it. Well, the problem is, what do you do about it? Well, you elect different officials. Okay, yeah, we've tried that. That doesn't.
And by the way, this little thing, I guarantee you, is one of only hundreds in the military right this second that are similar. We've told you about the bases that they built over in there in the desert that they never used, vehicles that they've designed. The classic is the Bradley fighting vehicle.
Oh, yes. Did a million things, none of them well.
Right, because they kept changing it.
Yes.
And it Kelsey Grammer, is he who's in the movie about the Bradley fighting vehicle?
Wow, I don't remember.
Is it? I think that's who. They made a movie that I stumbled upon about a year ago. I don't know when it was out. It is an amazing story, and it is based on fact. I read a book about it and interviewed the author 15, 20 years ago.
Pentagon Wars.
That's it. That's the one.
That was 20 years ago.
Yep, it was probably based on the book. So let's say 20. And we interviewed the author, and I was stunned. Like, I couldn't believe how many failures, and it's just standard now.
Yeah.
They started out saying something like, listen, we need a vehicle that we can send to the front line to transport wounded people back from the front line and transport other troops immediately up to the front line very quickly. We need a transport that would be able to go over that train and be fast. So like a tank, but really fast.
Great idea.
Right. Awesome.
Great idea.
And people are like, you know, if you get up there, in order to make it fast, we can't have all that armor. So it's just going to get blown up.
Right.
And they're like, okay, put a bunch of armor on it. And they're like, then it's not fast.
Take some of the armor off.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll make it smaller and take some, and they're like, okay, we can't fit anybody inside.
Yeah, there's that.
And they're like, put gun turrets on top to protect it from.
Great idea.
Yeah, except that weights it down more, and then you need people to do it, and every step of the way, they'd have to go back to the drawing board.
At one point, isn't it supposed to be amphibious too? It is supposed to be a boat.
Okay, I want it to fly now. Right? It was like that.
Yes, it was that insane. And again, the question is, what do we do about it? What do we do about the craziness?
The only thing that makes this work is transparency and more accountability. You only get those things by, again, electing good people, but some of that is always inherent. The other way is small and limited. That's how I appreciate and want my government to be.
Yes.
Small and limited. That's how you keep control of it.
Yeah.
It's just common sense.
But again, the way the government is growing, and the way we're so far in debt, it seems to many people that it's hopeless. That we're headed towards some flashpoint, something's going to happen.
You're right, and the only recourse we've had for quite a while has been speaking about it, protesting and marching, First Amendment, a few of the other ones as well. But anyways. The First Amendment has been our only recourse. What is it? Freedom of speech.
Right.
Freedom of the press.
Right.
Right. Religion a little bit, but when you're dealing with government, more so freedom to assemble. Right. And petition the government. 4 of the 5 directly have to do or could have to do with controlling the government.
Right.
And that's what we've had. So one of the new phenomena we've had that is really just met a fever pitch right now is that court of public opinion. The political correctness.
Right. Right.
Well, why is that? Why does the left love that? It's not just the over-emotional. It's used to control one of the few things we have. If they control speech and information, it actually begins to control thought. You don't get the information. It's garbage in, garbage out. You can't get good information.
Right.
The only recourse we've had is sharing information. When they stop that, it's over.
And that's why we're here.
And that's exactly why we're here. We're not going to be politically correct. I don't know. Do you realize I could say something on the air tomorrow that's not politically correct because that's who we are?
Tomorrow.
And the other advertisers, even those staunch libertarian and conservatives that support what we do and know we are right, will potentially have to make a decision at some point to keep giving us money to advertise, knowing that they are going to be savagely abused on social media and that their company will be in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them will have to make a decision. Listen, we got 200 employees or 500. We've all got families. If we keep giving you money right now, as much as we'd love to support you, it's over for us.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing that to control us. See, if they came out and said, that's it, you can't speechify anymore, everybody would line up. I mean, you'd get people on the left and right lining up together. Truly, if the government came out with an obvious and overt sedition act, the people would stand against the government. So they know they can't do that. They have to find other ways. And the political Brad, of course you can say those things, but there's just, as Jenna Bush Gager has said,
Jenna Bush Hager.
Whatever.
Yeah.
As that fat Bush daughter said, because the other one was kind of cute, but she had the worst name, Barbara. It's just an older name.
Yeah, it is. You're
No
right.
offense to you Barbs out there, just a little older, you know.
Barbie sounds too much like a stripper, though.
Right. She was the better looking one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, she was.
But I think she had the walleye like her dad.
Wait, her dad had a walleye?
Oh, yeah, he had a little bit. A little something going on there.
Bad as Ron?
Beady. No, he didn't wonky eye.
okay.
He had a walleye. Ron doesn't have a walleye. He has a wonky eye. All right, we're getting off the point here.
That's true.
They said these things, as she pointed out. There's just some things, maybe you shouldn't because it's not nice and it hurts people's feelings. And how do you battle? Do you really want to hurt people's feelings? Listen, people on the right are mostly good people who, I mean, a lot of them are very religious people, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, that really are trying to be good people. They're not out there trying to be jerks.
Except for the Baptists.
No, they're trouble at times.
Yeah,
we all know
they
that.
are, yeah.
I mean, there's a greater percentage of trolls that are Baptists. We know that.
Yeah, that's just a fact.
Almost
It's not
exclusive.
offensive. Yes.
So the easy solution is maybe you just shouldn't. And then all the boycotts. They're using that stuff against us. The easiest way to control people is when they don't know they're being controlled.
Boy, not the truth.
You lock someone in a jail cell, they know they're in jail. It's over. Right?
Yeah.
If you don't know you're in the jail cell, you're not trying to get out. If you don't know your freedom of speech is being infringed, you're not going to talk about it. One of the progressives I mentioned just a couple of weeks ago, I think it was one of the Antifa people, came out with some statement like, no, we absolutely believe in free speech. And they explained it this way. Free speech is guaranteed in the Constitution, saying the government cannot limit your speech, which is true. They're right about that.
Right.
But he can. No, it also means I have the right in America to not have other people. We have laws against this, or harassment, whatever. To have I don't have a right to be heard.
It would be called assault. If
Exactly.
To limit your.
But it doesn't matter. And there's the limitation. It's twisted and turned, and we don't know it's being infringed. That is the beauty of their power.
The Eagles, I do believe, said it best.
Get over it.
So oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in chains, and we never even know we have the key. I'm already gone. See? You didn't realize how deep the Eagles were until this very moment.
I also think they said it, they mentioned tequila sunrise, because if I can get drunk in the morning, it makes all of this better, much, much better.
And you really, truly cannot drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
You know what goes great with American Pride Roasters coffee?
Bourbon?
Liquor. Any kind.
Yeah.
Any kind.
Yeah.
Just pour it right in there.
Doesn't even that be good liquor?
Some mornings the proportion gets altered a little bit. Coffee to rum.
Well, and I think it all depends on whether you're talking about a Monday or a Thursday or a Friday.
True.
Because you don't want to go into the weekend with a hangover. You got to start fresh on a Saturday.
Oh, my gosh. I'm trying to think if I should announce this. I'm tempted to announce this now because I know Matt Locke, cat out of the bag.
He does have a very large mouth.
There are no cats in any bags when it comes to Matt Locke.
No. He cuts the bags wide open, and they're
all of his bags are catless.
Yeah. It's
very, very frustrating if I try to keep a cat in a bag.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. We got an event coming up, another one that we've just planned. It'll happen before the end of the year, likely just after Black Friday. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I believe, some cats can stay in the bag.
Trying to think if I even know what it is.
You heard about it last night at our meeting. You were drunk.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't paying any attention.
It has to do with a MoJo 50 After Dark.
Oh, that one.
Bonus content.
Yes.
Where the whole crew is going to get together and provide some adult entertainment. Now, we're not talking pornography. We just mean that we may curse a little bit. And it won't be on a regular platform here. We'll let you know. It'll probably be a Facebook Live thing, something like that. We'll provide this, and it is going to be a party.
So we're just going to have gratuitous cursing.
No, there's more of a point to it. I'm just going to say we're going to let it fly. It's not one for the kiddies. It's not one for that. It'll be. It's going to be a comedy-based.
You mean it'll
bit of content?
Whoa, we're going to be entertaining and funny?
I'm not going to be
either
one of those.
That's going to be a change.
No, I'm just going to be here. So, anyways, that's officially all we're saying about it. Who knows, though? Matt Locke may give you the address. Coming up. He may give you the entire thing. All right.
You want to point at Ron if you want the next thing.
I know, but I'm just mentioning it. Should I mention combatflipflops.com? I think I should. Go to combatflipflops.com, combatflipflops.com, and get some combat flip-flops. And what they are is flip-flops and other apparel that help people in the Middle East. Actually helps people all around the globe, including people in America. But their campaign right now is to help women and girls in Afghanistan become educated. It helps educate them so they are empowered to take back their country. This has got to be a key to when we give money around the globe, is empowering people to do the job for themselves. I mean, think of America when we were we did it. They did it. They did it themselves. We just need a little help. Hey, France, can you give us a couple of bucks? Good to go. We'll take care of this, right? We'll pay you back. It's cool. That little bit of help so you could do it yourself. Please go to combatflipflops.com, combatflipflops.com.
What do you mean it's last call?
Righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your Daily Mojo with Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that with all the ghouls, goblins, spooks, specters, trolls, monsters, fiends, beasts, brutes, and ogres, it's easy to confuse Halloween with the election season. Those get conflated very easily.
Yeah.
We learned from Jenner Hager Bush. Whatever.
Hager Bush.
That free speech is absolute unless someone gets their feelings hurt. Absolute.
That is the truth.
Unless you're a little bothered by it. We learned Sarah Silverman is so close to getting it, and when she does, she's going to get it good. Finally, we learned that I, Doc Thompson, dislike AT&T.
Almost as much as the effing dog.
A little bit more.
Almost.
We learned that there is now a second caravan headed to the U.S. We have nicknamed it the USFL.
It's the B team. The B team is bringing up the rear.
Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that whoever won the Mega Millions jackpot last night assaulted me at a party 35 years ago.
Are you okay?
I don't remember when or where, but I remember very distinctly it was them. And all I want is the facts to come out and some money.
Is your memory a little fuzzy? Are there gaps in it?
It's a little fuzzy. That's because I was traumatized.
But you do remember the rape train.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. And this person who has the winning ticket,
whoever they may be,
all I want is a little comfort and some money.
To that, whoever won the Mega Millions jackpot in South Carolina, what is it?
It's South Carolina.
South Carolina last night.
Right.
If you're wanting to advertise your new companies, I have a platform that could take care of that for you.
Yes, we certainly do. Just call Ron.
If you'd like to invest in a budding media company, I can help you with that too.
I also learned this is the cleanest caravan of immigrants ever in the history of immigrant caravans. We don't even see their dead bodies or their feces. None of it. Amazing. I also learned today, never follow up a Sarah Silverman Louis C.K. story with a Freedom Works interview. The two don't mesh very well.
I think they went together. I think Ken liked it.
He may. It's just, you got to love the cooch, by the way.
I love the cooch. I forgot to learn that.
I learned that Escalade...
And Ken Cuccinelli is a hell of a guy.
Isn't he? Isn't he, though? I learned that escalator rides are more dangerous than trying to hand feed Michael Moore or Rosie O'Donnell. I I learned that...
Here's an apple.
I learned that moonrocksfromuranus.com is the second best idea Doc Thompson ever had, right behind giving away free ads on an ad-supported platform.
No. There's moon rocks. And then there's Mars rocks. And then there's rocks from Uranus. Those are all separate things.
Moon rocks from Uranus.
No.
.com.
The moon rocks are from the moon. Rocks from Uranus are from Uranus.
You just
not getting it.
Yeah, try to tell that to the judge. Also learned finally that you mentioned Louis C.K. for 5 seconds and the entire Jackhole Nation heads straight for the gutter. Thank you.
You know what? That's
so
shocking.
much. It really is.
We present this highbrow broadcast day in and day out, and you go right to the gutter. It's like everything's a challenge with you people.
You think you know somebody or somebodies, and then they just, it's just embarrassing.
They turn on you.
They really do.
Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Kirk, the all-powerful, learned that petting...
Can I do that?
Yeah, please do.
You've got to Kirk, the all-powerful.
That's much better. Much better.
Like
Thank you. They learned that petting sweater puppies like pit bulls requires permission, or it's going to cost you.
Sweater puppy. Excuse me, ma'am. I couldn't help but notice your puppies. Mind if I pet them for a while?
Wow.
I see his nose peeking out of your blouse. Just it's bloused up there. You're missing a button, and his little brown nose is peeking out there.
What are you feeding those puppies?
Is that a Labrador?
They're getting so large. You know they grow up so fast. Sneaking Duck learned that I'd sell my old employer, the Air Force, some duct tape to fix those handles for just $750 a roll, happily.
That sounds great, but I'm willing to sell it for $700. So I'm sorry.
It's a bidding war. Spook Slug learned, of course, the Air Force has reheating coffee cups. Freaking Sky Divas. I'm guessing Spook was in the Navy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, he was a Marine. He's like, you know what? Coffee cups. We didn't even have coffee.
We poured hot coffee in our hands. We wrang it from our socks and drank it, and we liked it.
We took a scoop of grounds and swallowed some fire and water. Scoop of grounds, drink of water, and swallow a hot rock.
Just blowtorch in your mouth.
That's what we did.
Stinking coffee cups. Rockin' Robin learned, Your Honor, members of the jury, my client did not actually molest this passenger. He was merely a new TSA hire being transferred to a new location, was simply getting a jump on his training. In fact, he's just being proactive, Your Honor.
Well, they do post-screening now.
They do post-screening?
They do randomly. I've seen this a couple of times where you're at your gate and they just wheel up a little mobile thing.
Yes.
And they start wanding you before, just randomly.
Yeah.
This was post screening.
That costs extra though. If you want the post screening feel up,
onboard post onboard screening.
It's much more expensive because it takes a certain level of professionalism to be able to perform that duty.
Apparently, the Sky Marshals have a lot more duties now.
Yes, they do. Saving Private Harambe learned Southwest will now offer first class, business class, and groping class. Which one
is it cheaper or more expensive? I'm like,
I just want to know which one do you get on the plane first with, because that's the one I want to buy.
And you'd also have to. More important to me, getting on is important, but getting off, because I want off of that plane as soon as possible. So whichever one gets me off faster is what I'm looking for. Yes. Sitting there is a pain in the.
If fat, hairy, dirty fingers do it for you.
So which is most expensive? The groping class. Is that at the bottom or the top, damn it? Maybe just move on.
Yeah, I think so. Libertarian learned, so you actually want white parents to take their kids to the costume store and say, white characters only, kids. Think about what you're advocating, bigot.
Good point.
That is a very good point.
Now Casper's still in play, so that's good.
That's true.
Castro is not, but Casper is.
Big difference. Polish-American jackhole with a huge patriotic desk. I hate you. Learned overregulation always leads to shrinkage. Just ask Bill Clinton why he quit doing business domestically.
So I promised you a story that I didn't get to, and I got backlogged with the new numbers on procrastination. We'll do both those tomorrow. What else do you have coming up? Anything else?
Coming up tomorrow, a surfeit of topics and opinions designed to stimulate the hippocampus, and audiophiles and philosophers worldwide will flock to us.
Matt Locke and the Conservative Cartel, what do they have coming up?
Matt has Nate Silver saying the election is over and the Fed. I don't know. It's
sounds
some
good.
sort of
Remember,
bag.
the Daily Mojo is today a Ron production.
Ron Phillips.
6 separate Tyrannus. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now you go home. Join us also tomorrow when we have this same old stinking rotten desk. Just,
There's a new one coming.
yeah, okay, sure.
I swear it. Soon.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining,